All right. What's up, everybody? Let me know if you can see me and if you can hear me. Hi, 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 hi. What's popping, everybody? What is popping? How's it going? What's popping? How is it going? What we got? Hello, 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 hello. Can anybody hear me? Um, what's popping? How is it going? What we got? All right. Just want to be sure that you guys are hearing me now. If you can hear me, if you can see me, just drop a comment. There's always a little bit of delay between the time I say something here and from where you guys can hear something. All right. All right. I see everybody's coming now. We are live. Yes, we are. We are. We are live now. We are live now. Hi, Victor. Hello, Joseph. King Sage. The V stage. What is the V stage? All right. Drizzy Drift. What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. All right. We can hear at the back. You don't have to be at the back, Joseph. Come to the front. Come to the front. Take the front row seat. All right. Alaukbe, how are you, bro? What's up? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Joseph says it's perfect. Okay, great, great. Ayo, nice to see you in here, man. Nice to see you. All right, so today's discussion is pretty much going to be with me and Manny. Manny is trying to sort out a little bit of audio glitch, and he will be online in a bit. I just spoke to him not too long ago. Uh, we want to talk, we want to talk to Manny today about like his process, his approach to arranging, to playing, and also about aux keys, man. I feel like aux keys is one of those very, very important aspect of music production, and also very important aspect of you playing in a team, playing in choir, playing in church at a very high level, uh, that needs to be understood. That's a topic that a lot of people don't understand, and to some extent we do. To some extent we neglect this topic and we don't give it, the proper level of attention that it needs. And that's why we're doing this. All right. All right. So let's see more people in here. All right. Victor, nice to see you. Vikovic. Vikovic. Are you from Zambia? Are you from Russia? Carol all the way from Ghana. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Kemi. Okay. Promishi. Nice to meet you. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. Pardon me if I messed that up. Uh, Balo Godfred. You didn't mention my name. I just did now. I just did Balo. Balo Godfred Pro. All right. In full, in fact. Okay. You have to type the comment twice. Really? Really? Yeah. I know they agree. Ah, okay, no vex, no vex. Caleb Thomas, nice to see you. Nice to hear from you. While I am still waiting for money to tap in, just want to let you know. If you have not listened to my song, I have a new song out. Actually, I have a new song out. I have another song that I wrote and produced with Daniel Ojo. Go check it out. Go check out Omema on all platforms. Daniel Ojo and I. And also go check out my new song that came out last December, Momore. Go check it out. Go stream it. Okay. So one of the topics I want to talk about at some point, probably definitely not today, is is my own journey as well. Some people have asked me, and I really want to know your thoughts about this. Okay, you guys have asked me about my own journey, my own story, all that kind of thing. And I've been thinking about it because I'm bringing in people in here to speak and to talk about their journey, their story, and I have not shared my full story. At least for some people who kind of just, get on board, subscribed recently, and never really been able to go back to my past videos and watch some of them. I want to know, are you guys interested in you know, a full video of me talking about my story and, my journey, where I've been, where I've come from, all those kind of things? I really, really would like to know. So, if you guys want to know about that, I want to do a session where it's just going to be me sharing my story. I don't know if I want it to be live though, or I want it to be I want to pre-record it and just release the video. What do we want to do? Do we want it live, or I should just release the video whenever it's ready? Me talking about my story, where I'm from, how did I get into playing keyboard, how did I get into music production, what do I do on a day to day, what is my week to week, what does it look like? Um, yeah, pretty much the whole journey from when I was born, from how we are here now. I want to know. Okay. All right. So people are saying, yes, we are interested. But do we want it live, in a place where it's kind of like collaborative and we can share comments and I can answer questions along the way? Or do we want it to be pre recorded and I just release it? Okay. Someone says live. Hmm. I think live would be best. Okay. Okay. Uh, Joseph also says we're interested. Live. Okay. Looks like live is winning. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I hear you, Victor. I think we'll learn better with the interaction. Okay. Yes, everyday adventure. That is exactly what I'm talking about. A full video of my experience, my journey. Absolutely. That's exactly the same thing I'm talking about. All right. Someone says, Blessing says, I think it will be live emoji. Okay. Caleb. Want it live. Okay. Want it live. All right. All right. Okay. Live it is then. Live it is. All right. All right. Uh we want to ask some questions. Okay. So definitely it will be live then. So now you guys are putting me on the spot. There's a reason why I didn't want it to be live, because I don't want to be emotional at any point in the video. And the reason why I say that is my journey has been interesting. And when you want to share pretty much your whole story from when you were born up until a certain time, it is not easy to just share like that, right? So that is why I was considering if I should just make it if I should make it whether I should make it live or I should make it, at least if I get emotional in any part of the video, I can cut it out and edit the video. You get what I'm saying? But if it is live, that is some vulnerability next level. So I wanted to be sure if I don't know even if I am up for that. You know, that's why I wanted to know. All right. So Manny is definitely. Let me just check my text one more time. All right. It is fixing his webcam. Okay. Just fixing his webcam. Manny is an excellent guy. He's trying to make sure that his video is on point. Okay. Um. Oh, someone said I could remember Todd Delaney Proverb 3 base cover. Mm. I have not played bass in a long time, by the way. So, yeah. Uh, Victor says, show the emotion. Why do you want to see my emotions? For God's sake, we need to see, ha, 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 ha. We need to see the emotional part of it. Okay. Uh, okay. So somebody at least is saying I could do you could do the video, then afterwards schedule a live session so that those that have questions could ask questions from the video. Yeah, that's a good idea too. That's a good idea too. Yeah, because the only challenge with live is as I am speaking about this, I feel like people will be asking questions and it would derail me from things that I want to say or make the video a little too long. That's one of the things I'm trying to avoid by not making it live because the questions will be coming in, and as I'm trying to answer the questions, they might derail me from my plan or from all the things I want to talk about, which I have actually already listed everything I want to talk about. I just need to sit down and make it happen. So get ready for that. Get ready for that. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. It might be very soon, it might be later. And by the way, let me tell you this as well. In the next 2 weeks, February 22, there will be a session with an immigration consultant. For those who want to know about how can we travel abroad, what can we do to be able to, what can we do with our music to be able to go, you know, what kind of skill am I supposed to get and things like that to be able to go abroad. Um, okay, someone says we need setup though, for sure. We'll do that as well. We'll do that. But like I'm saying, next 2 Saturdays, that is on the 22nd, February 22nd, will be a session with an immigration consultant who will kind of talk to us about um, the kind of things we need to know when it comes to traveling abroad with your music as a musician, as a musical talent, as a talented person. What kind of things do you need to have? What kind of things do you need to know? What do you need to put in your portfolio to be able to do something like that and travel abroad with your music without running away, doing it legally, doing it the right way? That will be happening in about 2 weeks from now. So mark your calendar and I'll put it out as well. So yeah. Um, all right. So make it in a way where questions will only be entertained after you've done talking. Absolutely. That's what I gotta do. I gotta ignore the comments and just continue in a way where when I'm done, I will be able to answer questions. Yes. Uh, all right. Caleb Thomas, today is not for diet for this right now. So February 22, I'll be there no matter what. Thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Uh, suggest you record your story as a video, not live. I know, right? That is what I'm thinking too, Shala. That is what I'm thinking. But it looks like if 90% of the people here want it live. And that's kind of challenging. All right. Really needed those Jaden Baker sounds. Okay, Caleb, you must be in a spirit or something. I have been trying to get Jaden Baker to be on this show. All right, I've been trying to get Jaden Baker to be on this show. Jaden and I spoke about a week ago. This is the Instagram chat with myself and Jaden. We spoke about 2 weeks ago, talking about getting him to be on the show. So look forward to that. It might be next month. So look forward to that, Jaden Baker. We are looking forward to having you on the show. All right. So let me try and reach. Let me try and reach out. Let me try and reach out to uh Manny one more time and see how he's doing. I'm so sorry, guys. So all right. In the meantime, if you guys want to know about aux keys, let me give you a little bit of insight on that. Um, you know, I feel like the bread and butter of music production when it comes to anything else aside from like your typical piano sounds, your organ sound, and your, of course, your bass, your drums, and your electric guitar and your acoustic guitar. All the other sounds that you hear in a music usually are auxiliary sounds. Strings is not necessarily auxiliary key sound, but in the concept of when you don't have live orchestra and you're playing it from your keyboard, it still kind of considers as an auxiliary keys sound because you're playing it from the keyboard. Uh, but they are way more than just strings and pads. So they are like, what am I supposed to do when I am doing this, or when the singer is doing this, or when the band is doing a certain kind of thing, So like, there are different type of sounds that you can be dealing with. When we start thinking of auxiliary keys and sounds, you start thinking of what kind of wavetable are we talking about? Like, am I using a sawtooth? Am I using a sine? Am I using a triangle? Am I using a square lead? Uh, these sounds, these wavetables, like we call them in the world of synthesis programming, they are all different in sound. So, for example, if I were to pull up omnisphere for now and put an omnisphere on my uh on my logic here, there are different kind of sounds that you can start with when you are designing a particular patch, right? You can start with, a sign. A sign is one of those that many of you already know, right? Many of you already know what a sign patch kind of sounds like. So if I go in my, uh, you know, if I go in my, actually, let's use an alchemy. Let's use alchemy. Alchemy is one of those hidden secret in logic that a lot of people don't actually uh, do anything about. So if I bring in a simple saw wave and I just put it in here, what does it really sound like? It just sounds, it just sounds like, let's do a a simple from start patch, just go to a default patch. And by the way, let me also just to keep checking. All right. Okay, I was just listening to I was trying to listen to the message that Manny just sent me. He's still having a little challenge with the webcam, but he should be joining in very, very live. Okay, let's see. February 22. I'm just trying to look at the comment here as well. Uh Who is Jaden Baker? Okay, Jaden Baker is not a pastor. Jaden Baker is not his pastor. Who said he's a pastor? Chooks. Or is it Chalks? Jaden Baker is a keys player, a multi instrumentalist. That boy is something else. Yeah. Looking forward to having his place too. Absolutely. Look forward to that. Look forward to that. All right. And someone says, and Sam Simon and Will Davis. Okay. Do I know who the Will Davis? I might be terrible for not knowing who that is, but I will research. Okay. If Eve's play agrees, I will share rice in church. Okay, Eve's play. I got you gotta come, bro. Someone is literally having to buy a bag of rice to share in church. Uh Sam Simone for the culture, yes. Hungrily waiting for 22nd of February. Okay. Coco Base. Okay, now that's my brother for sure. For sure. I don't mind chicks. He likes to play. I don't know what that means, but um, we're definitely gonna get his play at some point. I know he's very busy. He's very, there are a lot of things he's dealing with. So once I'm able to get him to come, you guys look forward to that. You guys look forward to that. All right. You guys look forward to that. Once I'm able to get his play, uh, he's gonna be here. I'll put it up earlier, maybe put it up a week earlier, so that you all that want to be there, you don't miss the notification. Okay. All right. So I will let you know. And also, actually, you guys give me more ideas. Who are the people you want to see? I would like to know that. Yes, Jaden Baker plays at Dallas Potter's house. Dallas North, actually, because I believe there are two Potter's house in Dallas. The main one where Pastor TD Jakes is the lead pastor, and there's the Dallas North, TPH Dallas, I think, the North one. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but I think that's the one. Okay, billionaire pianist James Aliko. All right, all right. Okay, that is from Koza's MD. We also want the Ox brother from NCA. Okay, no problem. Tumishe, the one you here. Okay, let's see. Um, all right, all right. Well, ways, days. Someone says they want to see Caleb Shawn and Warren Brown. Oh, Caleb Shawn is an amazing keys player. Yes, would love to have Caleb Shawn, but that is a good recommendation. Warren Brown as well, at Pastor William McDowell's church. Absolutely, absolutely. Billionaire pianist, though. What do you guys want to know with billionaire pianists? I really need to know. There's so many billionaire. James, I'm gonna send this video to you. I'm gonna cut out this section and send this video to you. James, the ones you on the channel, please, you gotta make some time for us. 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. I'll be very grateful. I'll be very grateful. A lot of people here asking for you. We'll be very grateful if you can be here. So I'm gonna cut out this section and send it to you, James. All right. They're asking for you. You gotta be here. We gotta know how you do those things that you do, how the team do those things that they do, the excellence, the approach. Break it down for us. Like, I'll be willing to know all of that. And all these people in here will be willing to know that as well. Would love to see a session with Siko Nguyen. I believe this man is from South Africa. I think I've seen some of his videos before. He does a lot of what's it called? He does a lot of strange arrangement. Is that the person? Jukes, please let me know if I get that correctly. But it's an amazing arranger. That's an amazing arranger. Yes, I will find some time and reach out to him. Like a sound, what console do you use for live? Do you mean like as I'm speaking right now, the console I'm using right now? Is that what you're talking about? Or at church? I need to know. All right. So also, someone says SMJ, billionaire pianist and SMJ. SMJ, my brother, we coming. Okay, Tumishe is gonna come. All right. All the way from Uganda. Thank you, bro. Thank you. AJL music. Okay, AJL. Let's do a live stream. Okay, AJL. Okay. Everybody wants to hear Tumishe here. All right. Tumishe is very playful, but I'm gonna get him to be here. Just watch out. Just watch out for that. You have solid musicians in your church band. Why not bring them, especially your aux keys player and bassist? Plus, most people don't know the job of an organist in a band. Okay, great. I am going to get all of them to be on this session. So look out for that. As you guys are asking, they're gonna come one by one. So let's go. Billionaire pianist again. See guys, I'm very terrible when it comes to pronouncing South African names. Okay, please help me out here. Sian Siyan Goba Tetwa, MD for Joyous Celebration. Wow. Okay. All right. I will reach out, and if you have a direct line of contact, Caleb Jeremy, DM me on Instagram. All right. DM me on Instagram. Jaden Arnold, the one of the craziest organ player in the world. Yes, Kelechi, I already have it in my list as part of the people that want to bring on this show. So you guys look forward to that. Just that we can bring everybody on the same day, right? So we gotta space it out as well. So it's gonna be like on a weekend to weekend basis in a way. So look forward to that as much as possible. All right. My Oxkis player, absolutely. You guys have talked about that. He's gonna come. I'm gonna drag him. In fact, we're gonna be in this studio together. We're gonna be in this studio together. Set up the camera. Both of us, we're gonna be here together. He's not going to even be like he's gonna be somewhere else. So it's gonna be fun. Um, how many nodes do you have? Personally, I don't have I don't own a node. All right. The nodes are at church, and it's only one that we have. One node stage. You don't need more than one node stage, really. By the way, most people don't use node for anything apart from main keys or sometimes maybe organ. Node stage, watching from Newcastle. Oh, Shola, I used to live in Newcastle, if you know that, by the way, right? But I don't know which Shola is this. Maybe I know you. Is this Shola Oyefeko? Better not be. Or it could be. Uh, yes, that's him. We love to know how he thinks. Okay. All right. Chooks, I got you. Great job here, man. Precious. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Trinidad, Tobago. Someone says Jacob Collier. Honestly, it would be amazing to be able to bring Jacob, but I don't know if Jacob is gonna come. But you know what? I'm a Christian. I act in faith. So I'm gonna reach out to Jacob. Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna reach out to Jacob. I'm a Christian. I have faith. I'm gonna send him a DM on Instagram. I'm trusting God that he will see my DM and he will say yes. Okay? All right. So Jacob Collier. Yes, someone also already mentioned Sam. All right, I'm gonna send a DM to Sam. Sam is one of those people that is very amazing when it comes to sound designing and sound designing even for like live performance and things like that. So um, I'm looking forward to that session as well. All right. Now, Shola is leaking all the secret that is supposed to be for when I start sharing my own story. So no problem. Shola, just because you know now, no problem. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you incorporate some arrangement for small and beginner bands? Hmm. Honestly speaking, that's a good idea, but I think it's very limiting for me to decide if I'm creating for a small band. I think you are the one that we have to decide. When you hear something, you decide what are you going to keep from that. Am I going to keep the art part, or am I going to just do it in a simpler way? I think that's the best way to go about it. Don't ask people to create a live arrangement for a smaller band or like for make it simple. You take what they've done and you break it down. You take what you can do and you dispose the ones you can do. That's how to actually approach anything. So that you do what you can do, you do it well and it will sound good. You don't try to do what you know you can do. Okay. Um all right. Manny is asking for the link. So I'm sending the link to him just again one more time so that you can get in here. It looks like it's ready to go. It looks like it's ready to go. So uh it looks like it's ready to go. All right. So more people are dropping in more names in here, guys. Oh my god. Who in your band studied music? Guess what? Nobody is a full-time musician and nobody necessarily went to school to study music. Yeah. Story for some other time. Grammy Award winner. Jacob Collier is like a 4, 5, or 6 time Grammy Award winner at this point. So that's like some next level stuff right there. Reach out, Jacob will come. Amen. Thank you for having faith with me. Let's go, Victor. Let's go. Chop noku, chop noku. Boom, 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 boom. Yay, Jesus Molina. That is one of the craziest piano player in the world, in my opinion. All right. Please, you were sharing some in-depth knowledge about Ox sounds. Wish to hear more. Absolutely, absolutely. Sinach is coming to our church in South Africa. I pray you are MD. I am not. I am not going to be there. All right. I'm so sorry, Caleb. I wish I can, but I don't travel. I don't travel around uh, the globe really doing music. So I'm not going to be there. Please, what's the best way to encourage some like Adesica singers and instrumentalists? People ask me these questions all the time, all the time. And what I say to them is number one, pray for them. All right. Number two, get people they honor and they respect to talk to them. Okay. When you get people they know that they honor and they respect, get them to talk to them, encourage them. I know that's not always enough. And I know in some cases you've done that already. Number three, this one is very interesting to hear. You put them in challenging situations that will force them to step up. So, what I mean by that is if you have people who you know they are talented but they're just not doing what they're supposed to do, lazy like a Desica, you put them in situations where um they're going to have to step up intentionally. So an example is uh you nominate them for something that you know they have not really been doing, but they have the capability to do it. Now it's on them to now decide to step up and quickly figure out how to do it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're gonna be having, for example, Caleb is gonna be having Sinach in their church. Is that what you said, Caleb? Yes, in their church in South Africa. And you have a bass player that is supposed to play, that plays in your church, number one, but it's been very like a Desica. Guess what? That's an opportunity to put him in a challenging situation. You ask him to play for Sinach, and you tell him, you know, Mr. A, you're the bass player here. Let's assume that Minister Sinach is not coming with a bass player. We would rather have you play for her than go hire somebody. So are you going to step up? Are you going to learn the song? Are you going to practice the song like your life depends on it and play for this woman? Or are you going to embarrass yourself and let the artist embarrass you for not doing your job? Because we know you can do it. You're just being lazy. So that's a challenging situation to put someone in so that they can reach their potential. You put them in places that are uncomfortable for them. Nobody wants to be embarrassed. A lot of musicians that I know, they don't necessarily want to be embarrassed. Nobody likes to be embarrassed, right? Nobody likes to be harassed. So, but if I put you in a challenging situation in front of an A-list artist, figure it out. Are you going to do your homework and show up prepared, or are you going to just, do it the way you normally do it in a lazy way? Now that's on you. And guess what? That opportunity might never come again. The opportunity might never come again. That might be the only time you will get that kind of opportunity. And once that is gone, there's nothing I can do. I've tried to put you in a situation that can help you grow. It's left to you to decide if you're gonna grow with it or not. Okay. So that's one thing I usually do for people in that situation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't work, you leave those people be and you move on to the next available and serious people. At the end of the day, people are going to be people. You can't force people to do to do things. You can try, but at the end of the day, people who don't want to go grow won't grow. All right. So what does the other guitarist at the back usually play? I know Jude's play leads. By the way, there are actually three. There are three. There's one in front of me, there's one behind me, and then there's Jude. So they are playing different things. Sometimes one person is playing acoustic. Sometimes one person is just playing power chords on the guitar, and sometimes Jude is just filling it with lead lines. They have three different things that they do, that they all play. So what's the best way to encourage some, like, oh, I just answered this question. So we need Transformation Church Band Masterclass. That is good as well. Matt Ramsey, Caleb Sean used to be there. It's no longer there. Their drummer, I can't remember his name. My God, jeez. Taylor something. Guys, remind me. Transformation Church drummer. I don't remember his name. Corey Henry. Oh my God, Corey Henry on this show will be absolutely amazing. But yeah, we'll see. Is there anything you can do? Maybe like creating intros and something like that to make the others interested. I'm trying to wrap my head around the question. People who want to be challenged will be challenged. You creating intros is not necessarily what we drive them. I'm just being honest with you. All right. So, all right. So let's see. All right. Looks like we got Manny in here now. Manny, are you muted? Seems you're muted. Do you want to unmute yourself?
No
Okay.
problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can. I'm trying to ensure that we got you coming out of the right place. Uh, just give me a second. Hello. All right. Can you speak again, Manny?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chief.
All
I can hear
right.
you.
All right. We got you finally. Oh
You
my God.
I'm so sorry for the delay. I had a couple of
Oh
mix-ups.
no, no,
We're
no
here.
problem. No problem. How are you doing today, bro? How are you doing
Very
today?
well, very well, man.
All
How's it
right,
going?
all right. Finally, everybody, we got him here now.
Thank you
Let
so
me
much.
play
Thank you so
DJ
much.
Horn. DJ Horn. All right,
Thank you so much
welcome,
for putting
bro.
this together.
Welcome, bro. Really,
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. I know it's a lot, dealing with all these
Mhm.
connection issues. Um, but
Yeah.
yes, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to join in and all of that. It
Oh,
really means a lot. Thank
my
you.
honor.
Thank
My
you.
honor. My
So
honor. Thank you.
we are starting kind of
Thank you.
like 40 minutes late.
I'm
But
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
no, like hope you're not in a rush because I know
Not
you
at
probably
all.
had other
At
things
all.
planned. So
At all. We're here. We're here.
all
Today was
right.
planned for this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're
I
here,
really
sir.
appreciate
We're
that.
here.
So let's get
Thank you for
into it,
putting
man.
this together. Thank you for
Thank
putting this together. I mean, this is a very inspiring platform for young people like us, and it's everywhere. It's obvious that there is a revolution that is hitting the music industry, especially for this coming generation. And it's
mm.
I'm happy you are one of the pioneers. It's I'm
Oh
happy you're one
man.
of the pioneers.
That is very.
At least and at most, people are able to get information like this for by just by just tuning into social media, and it's very inspiring, man.
Yeah,
It's
that
very
that
inspiring.
means
Thank you so
that
much.
means a lot. And
Thank
I
you so much.
I don't know what to say. Glory to God. But bro,
Yes, always.
you're one of those people that every time I watch you play, I was just like, what is this guy doing again?
Wow,
So
man, glory to
it
God.
is
Glory to
what
God,
you're
sir.
doing is amazing. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about all of that. So, bro,
Yes, sir.
talk to
Yes,
us.
sir.
Like, how, I think I started personally. I started seeing some of your videos around 2020. I will be honest. I think around 2020, maybe ending of 2022, and then around 2023. Around
Oh
23,
wow.
more around 2023, and then
Wow.
the one that kind of went viral was what the video that you had with Pastor Nobuji at CCI, the reboot
Celebration
conference.
Church. Oh yeah.
Yes, was it the 2022 one or 2023
That was
one?
2023.
Yes, it was
2023.
23 one. Yes. So that one kind of
Mm-hmm.
went viral. Everybody was like, who is this guy? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
So I saw the video as well. I think I even commented on YouTube. I don't know if you remember.
yes,
When you
yes, yes.
eventually
That page.
dropped your
That's
video, I remember I commented. I was like,
yes.
there was some things I'm hearing. Like, Manny, where is this
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah. I
coming
remember.
from?
I remember. I remember. I remember. I
you
remember.
know?
Yes,
So,
yes.
like,
I remember.
talk to us about one of the things that I understand is like before someone eventually comes out to a
Mm-hmm.
particular limelight or whatever it is you call it, they have been doing some things behind the scene for
Exactly.
several years.
Exactly.
So like talk to us about those things that you've been doing, how long you've been doing this thing, where did the journey kind of like start from?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I promise you, I'm not in a rush at
Mm-hmm.
all. However, um, this thing is very simple.
Okay.
I mean, because it's something we've always hammered on, but I don't think we have paid attention to it.
Hmm.
And I think more than any complex or patch related or code related, I think the most I would talk about is environment.
Okay. Okay.
The most I would want to talk about is musical environment.
Hmm.
And there might be not controversial. Some things might sound controversial, but if you
Okay.
sit down to check, it will be the truth.
Okay.
For example, one of the first things I would say is of course, practice makes perfect. I'm not disputing the place of practice.
Mm-hmm.
However, practicing without an environment that is sonical or contextual to your vision or the kind of sound you'd want to build over time
Mm-hmm.
is baseless. It's a
Hmm.
baseless kind of practice.
Hmm.
Producing with producing with a wrong environment
Hmm.
is baseless. This is why you can never judge. You would barely be able to judge a musician who is good or who knows his onions from social media or
Mm-hmm.
by what
Mm-hmm.
the person plays by himself.
Hmm.
We have so many musicians that are good out of
By
context.
themselves.
Once it
Yeah.
has once it has to be contextual, you realize that there are a lot
It's not
of
fitting. It's
there
not fitting.
exactly
Hmm.
there's nothing it relates to. There's no particular line of music it relates to. There's no particular part of the soul it fits. You
Hmm.
understand? It just ends at the part of the mind that takes impression.
Oh, I see.
You understand?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to rearrangements, auxiliaries, everything still boils down to environment. Why I mentioned that was because more than I watched any video on patches, I mean, I can count the number of videos I ever watched on how to use this and how to use that.
Mm-hmm.
My I I till date have been conditioning my environment
Hmm.
around what I want to sound like.
Yeah.
Around what I want to sound like. I've been conditioning my environment. So from when I was a very, very little person, little child,
Yeah.
I exhausted I exhausted the likes of Fred Hammond,
Okay.
Kirk Franklin, Ty Tribbett, Hezekiah Walker, Joyous Celebration is like major for me.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
exhausted I exhausted all of these things and not I didn't score them.
Okay.
There are some of the songs I would hear now. I might just remember, okay, this was I did not score because it's just like we all. I mean, academically, there's a difference when you cram something for an exam,
Yeah. Yeah. And you
then when you
understand.
read something to actually understand
Understand.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once the exam is over, in the next 2 weeks, if you are asked that same question, there are
You've
chances
forgotten
that
it.
you will not
You've forgotten
exactly.
everything.
So this
Yes.
is this is how I differentiate scoring from actually building an environment.
Mm.
So it sounds very cliche, but it works like, for example, there was a video you posted where you're playing organ.
Me, yeah.
I can ask, or I can say that probably you might never have ever sat down to say, okay, let me rehearse how organ is played, or let me
Mm.
rehearse how this thing is done. But you have listened. I saw your response. You talked about Jaden Arnold.
Yes, yes,
Probably you've
yes.
listened to other organ players and all of that. And the moment you sat on the organ, you just knew what to do.
Mm. Mm.
You just
Al-
knew what to do. That is
Although,
how.
although for the organ, I don't even consider myself
Yeah.
an organ player because I feel like organ
No,
is a whole different,
no.
a whole
Yes, I
different
mean
level.
that's exactly
You
my
know,
point. Probably that I
yeah.
don't know if that's your first time of playing a beat three. I don't know if that's the first,
I've
but
played. I've played. We do have like I'm on the SKX, not necessarily the actual B3, but I've played B3s before. As long as you can, I have my drawbars. I know my drawbar settings. That was one of the
exactly
things I had to learn, like drawbar settings. When do
drawbars.
you
Yes. Oh no,
when
that
do you
one is
play with
totally
this
different.
Leslie from fast to slow, all those kind
To
of thing,
flow
and how to
exactly.
use your expression pedal. You cannot play an organ without
Pedals.
using your expression pedal. Now, the bass
Organ is
pedal of an
schematic.
organ, the bass pedal of the organ, I don't know how to use. It's
Yeah,
simple. I know
yeah,
it's simple. It's pretty much the same as playing bass note on your left hand. But
exactly.
for me to be able
Hmm.
to coordinate my brain to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do both hands and my
That's a lot
leg,
of
that's what I've
that's a
not been
lot
able
of
to do. So I,
that's a
I
lot of
have to,
multitasking.
I have to,
No,
when they were,
of course,
so it's
of course,
it's it's
I
like that.
understand all of that. However, when it did not seem strange to you
Hmm. Hmm.
sitting on it, because
Absolutely.
it's not your major. However, it didn't seem strange because
Mm.
the your mental environment is already familiar.
Familiar with it. Yes.
Is already familiar. This
Yes.
thing I want to say, it might sound very some people don't believe it, but the truth is,
Okay.
there is a way you listen to a particular lick. There's a way you listen to Jesus Molina,
Mm.
and even if you don't practice, in 6 months you would most likely develop dexterity, even if you don't sit down on the keys.
Mm. Mm.
It works. I mean, I'm not even anybody that is watching this should try this. There's a way you listen to someone like Jesus Molina. Don't sit down on the board. Just listen. Just
So you
listen.
listen so
After
much that your
it's
brain
the
is already familiar with. Okay.
I that's another thing. We don't maximize the capacities of our brains,
Of our
especially in
brain.
the African industry. In
Hmm.
the African industry, this is where I'm sorry to say, this is where it looks like the American industry knows they. Sorry to say, we
Mm-hmm.
have same capacity. I promise you, we have
Absolutely.
same capacity,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
the utilization of and the understanding of the capacities and the utilizations of it, that is where they head us.
Hmm.
That is where they head us. And probably people might want to say they have a more conducive environment for music and all of that, which I agree with. However, in our own way, there are ways we can utilize these things, and one of the ways is environment. One of the ways
Hmm.
is hearing. There is no major or established musician you'd sit with, and they won't talk to you about environment. I'm not downplaying the place of practice,
Mm-hmm.
learning, listening, and all of that,
Absolutely.
but environment is it is for me. It has been the major. It has been the major. There is environment, and then there's the innovation of environments, and then there's the emulation of environments rather.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
the emulation of environments, and then there's where that is from the emulation innovation happens. So what
Yeah.
I mean is, how it happened is I had seasons. There are seasons where for a couple of time for a while I listened to a particular person. Let's say um joyous celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, I got across my model, Aaron Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to Aaron Lewis. And after a while, I heard about Jacob Collier. I
Okay.
listened to Jacob Collier.
Mm-hmm.
And then, before then, I was already a Juicy Pro freak. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Juicy Pro was one of the persons that shaped Pastor Nat's album, shaped my career a lot.
Mm.
So, listening to all of these and emulating at some point, trying to, okay, listen, after a while, what would this person sound like if he's doing a job like this? What would this person sound like if he's
Yeah.
doing a job like
Yeah.
this? So, the
Yeah.
ability to emulate all of these things, and then particularly knowing, at least having a picture of what you want to sound like as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Putting a couple of these things together to create your sound, that is where the innovation happened, and that is how I think it happened for me.
Mm.
I was telling someone some days back, nobody ever listens to a musician and automatically concludes that this person is different.
Mm.
There has to be a mental calculation first. Who does this person sound like?
Yeah.
Who does this person sound like? After putting all the calculations together and not
And
being
you
able
can't
to hold
find
on to
it.
a thing,
Yeah.
that is where people conclude that this person is different. Nobody
Mm.
listens to anybody and says, this person sounds different. We all
Yeah.
calculate. This person sounds like this. This person sounds, who does this person sound like? So the the conditioning of my environment, that was where it first happened.
Mm.
And then after listening, I spent a lot of time listening. Like for every time I was not on the social media, before I came onto social media, I had exhausted, I had exhausted over 100 gig worth of. You know how not heavy old songs are. It's right now
Mm-hmm.
that our files are, they are in the 10 MB, they are in
Yeah.
the 11.
Yeah.
As of when songs were
Yeah.
2, 3 MB, I had
Yeah.
over 100 gig worth of songs, and
Yeah.
I can say I listened to all of them.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
them. There was a particular time, if a song crosses 2009, I don't listen to it.
Mm.
If it crosses 2009, I don't listen to
So
it
sorry, what
because
you mean?
our
Crosses 2009 to 10 or like below 2009? Is that what you mean?
below,
Okay.
like
Okay.
if it's 2009, if it's 2009 up, I don't
Mm-hmm.
listen.
Hell, okay. Okay.
I don't
I
listen.
get what you mean.
Like
Yeah.
I don't listen. I listen to the people that shaped music.
Yeah.
The,
Because there is something with those 2009, 2008, 7, 6 albums. Bro, those Marvin Sapp's album from like the 2000s. My God. I remember
bro.
it. I ate those albums, bro. Like the Testy album. There was a time that my wife. There was to share this is interesting. There was a particular
Mhm.
phone I was using at that time. I think. I think I had an account that if I wanted to log into that particular account from that phone, the
Yeah.
password was like SAP. That was how much I listened to Marvin Sapp.
Oh,
My wife was
wow.
like, and for my wife is
Wow.
like, she doesn't know where that word come from. What? That word? So I had to like, that's my favorite artist.
Wow.
That was at that time. So it was like I was listening to so much of Marvin Sapp that not necessarily listen to his voice, even though he's an amazing singer, but the
Mm-hmm.
instrumentation, and even up to this day, he released an album
Mm-hmm.
last year. I still had to listen to it.
Yes.
My Apple Wrapped, this rap that they normally
Yeah.
do. Marvin
Yeah. Yeah.
Sapp
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
number
Yes.
one on my list because how much I
Wow.
listen to the newly released album. So that's like I
Mm-hmm.
always want to hear those olden days because what he did was he took those olden days
Exactly.
song and he rearranged them again. So I wanted to
Yes,
like,
I've
you
listened to
know,
the album.
yeah. So I was like,
I
let
listened
me
to the
listen to
album.
this. These were my albums that I
Mm-hmm.
used to listen to back in those days. And,
Mm-hmm.
that particular, for those wondering why he was saying any song that crosses 2009. And I used to tell people like, people ask me, I want to be a very good keys player. What songs should I learn? I used to refer them back to those period of
Exactly.
Judith McAllister albums from those back in the
Mm-hmm.
days. Go
Mm-hmm.
score them. All the ones we're doing right now, this CCM vibe, bro. Like, trust me, you're probably
They
not gonna learn anything from them. No shades, bro.
exactly.
It's just the truth.
Exactly. Exactly. The industry grew from the industry tried to get simplified,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with. The reason we listen to songs like that is not to contradict or oppose what the current industry is proposing.
Mm.
However, the foundation is necessary, so that
Mm-hmm.
should there be, which there definitely will be, a
Yep.
situation where you have to offer more than what the industry is asking for, you are not confused, you are
Mm-hmm.
not left behind.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? A proper foundation can build you on how to do contemporary, simple, and technical songs. But what we have right now cannot cut it for foundations.
Mm-hmm.
I tell
Mm-hmm.
you, what we have right now as a music industry cannot cut it
It cannot.
as foundational
It
structures.
cannot. I
I
agree with
mean,
you.
it can't cut it, because if you go through the current songs, they're not bad. I mean, don't like, for an industry, for the industry. We're not talking about music business here, so
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
industry, they're not bad. However, for a musician that wants to do well and pass music across to a coming generation,
Mm-hmm.
your foundation has to your foundation has to rebel. It
Mm-hmm.
has to rebel the new normal. It has to
Absolutely.
rebel what it is at the time. This is the reason why some of us still go back and listen to these songs. And what I realized is this: some of the Marvin Sapp songs you listen to, you might not
Mm.
remember them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what happens is, recently I've been playing the albums I listen to. When I listen to the albums, I hear some things. I'm like, oh, so this is what influenced this in my production. So this is what
Mm.
influenced. You will
Mm.
not remember till you
Mm.
listen.
Yeah. I
Like
know.
you will not even keep the records, but you would, when you listen, like,
You use
this
it
I was
somewhere
listening to, exactly, I was listening
without
to
you even
Long Live
knowing
Love
it.
by Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was listening to Long Live Love by Kirk Franklin, and I heard one of the songs where he used an 808 bass and an organ combination, which I used in, I'm making my album for my
Mm-hmm.
company, and I
Okay.
used it in about the two songs. I'm like, so now here, now here. So that is what the environment does. It just, without your permission,
Yeah.
without your permission, conditions, it breaks through, it breaks a threshold in your mind,
Mm.
whether you know what is being done
Oh,
or
you
not.
don't.
It
Mm.
breaks a threshold. So once there is an environment, and then the environment meets practice, you know exactly why and what you are practicing.
Mm.
If not, we'll have some of the number of people we have here have practiced hand-on exercise for the longest, and they've just been stuck. I'm not joking, they've just been stuck there. I've
Yeah.
had a couple of them. They've just been stuck there. They are building dexterity to play what? The dexterity and everything you're building is to play. How do you know what to play? After
Mm.
scoring all of the jazz pieces and all of the licks and all, how do you know
Apply.
when to use them? How do you
Yeah.
know when to use these things? How do you, so this is like the foundation for everything we're going to talk about.
Mm.
I had to lay this foundation because as long as rearrangement, as long as cutting ox, as long as giving life to music is concerned,
Mm.
what you have in store is what you can give.
Absolutely.
What you have taken in is what you cannot. There is no magic. Nobody's no. Even if a client sends a crazy song to you to cut ox for, if you are not well fed intellectually,
Mm.
you will not catch up with the craziness. That the arrangement is crazy doesn't mean you're going to
There's
do
no
it crazy.
way, no place to pull from, pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no, if you don't have what to give to the song, if you don't have what to give to the arrangement, if you don't have what to give to the project, you're not going to catch up.
Mm.
You're not going to catch up. You
Yeah.
understand? So, and the environment is, before we once, I mean, I hope everybody here understands at least now the importance of environment.
Mm-hmm.
From here, any other thing that is said will be completely understood, because I'm going to be especially talking with references,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
for every time I've listened, I have particular reasons. No, I don't have particular reasons why I listen, but for every time I listen, there are things I pick.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when it comes to I'm not a horns arranger.
Mm.
I'm not one that would want to sit down and arrange horns. For some reasons I don't like it.
Y-
However,
Bro, I
when
have
needed,
I've bought this native instrument session ons pro for like
oh,
years. The only time I use it if I just need to do a simple one or
exactly,
two. I
exactly.
don't have time to
That's
be. If I
yeah,
have strings I need to do, probably send it to people who know what they are doing. Because I try
exactly.
not to be able to. You can be a master at everything for sure as
At
well.
everything.
You know,
Exactly.
you know what you're looking for, but
Exactly.
if you want to, you know that if I have to invest time to do this well, it would take me a
Hmm.
whole lot of time, which
Exactly.
is you don't want to go
Exactly.
down that rabbit hole. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm not a horns person. However, when it gets to a point where I need to apply horns, my first reference is what Aaron Lewis would do,
Mm,
because his taste for horns sounds like mine,
okay.
sounds like what I would also want to go for. If I want to cut piano for an urban gospel song,
Mm-hmm.
my first reference is Kirk
Mm.
What
What did
would
Sean Martin do?
piano sound like? Exactly. You understand? So
mm,
if I at least that's why I laid the foundation for environment. So once I start giving reference, people will understand why and how I'm giving references.
mhm.
You understand? So basically, this is what shaped. This is my major shaping. Environment was my major shaping.
Yeah, yeah,
Environment
that is.
was my major
Yeah, and
shaping.
again, yeah, for those who are just joining, the environment we're talking about is not like where you live, or it's about the
Exactly.
kind of music you're consuming. The things you're consuming in your
Mm-hmm.
mind, they are eventually going to
Mm-hmm.
shape where you how you play and how you arrange and how you produce and how you like whatever it is you do musically, what you study, what you listen to, what you pay attention to is going to be
Exactly.
very, very influential. So, talk to us
Mm-hmm.
about
Exactly.
I know, I mean, and I don't mean to bring this up in a way to make you feel emotional. I know
Of
that
course.
uh, your dad passed away last year,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
you're a pastor's kid, correct?
Of course. Of
So
course.
I wanted to know because I am a pastor's kid as well, though my dad passed away like 20 years ago.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
But
Wow.
how does you know and I guess let me ask first, what was the church that your dad was pastoring, or like did you grow up in that church, and what kind of music
Mm-hmm.
was that church actually doing? Because one of the things I've seen is that for some of us that
Yeah.
we grew up originally in Nigeria and were pastors' kids, the new
Mm-hmm.
generation of musicians right now, we didn't grow up in our home church. We grew up in our home church, but the kind of music we play is different from the music
It's
that was
different.
played in our home church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. However, so um my my musical picture from when I was young has been it's not, I wouldn't say weird, but it's been different.
Okay.
So I have I have always been the ones I've always been the one that I've always been the one to want to make a global impact.
Mm-hmm.
A global impact. And the truth is, as long as global impact is concerned, there is this whole conversation of specialization and versatility. This is
Mm-hmm.
where that is my answer to that question. When people talk about should you specialize in one kind of music or whatever, or do you think you should be versatile? I just answer it depends on where you're going to.
Mm.
If you're going for a particular audience, specialize. If you're looking at audience is coming to you, be
Mm.
versatile.
Mm. I see.
As long as you want to make global impact,
Mm-hmm.
you specialization would do just little for you. I mean, you would. It's okay to impact. It's okay to be. It's okay to be a legend to a particular set of people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But if you have a dream to reach the world
Mm.
as the world, it's you'd have to push beyond what you feel your capacity is or what
Mm.
you think you like.
Mm.
So this is where I appreciate my home church because I grew up in an Assemblies of God church.
Okay.
My dad was an Assemblies of God pastor.
Pastor.
You understand? And the music, the musical foundation is not anything close to contemporary or whatever.
And that was why I
However,
asked that question. Yeah.
yes, however, that was one of my major shapings. I can't even I would give that to Assemblies of God because
Mm.
the truth is this: the music is more. Permit me to use the word spiritual
Mm-hmm.
than
No, come on.
music is
This is
very
not
very
a.
spiritual.
This is not
No,
a.
yeah,
We're not a. When.
I feel you. Music is very more than it hits anywhere. It goes first into the soul.
Yes.
So when making music, that is my first consideration. This particular thing, is it going? Is it how
Is it
well can
eating
it
me?
feed one's soul?
Mm.
How well can it feed one's soul? How well can someone listen to this thing and beyond the wow, more this person is there's a particular craving of this person's soul that is satisfied at that time.
Mm. Mm.
You understand? And so back to the Assemblies of God I grew up in. Assemblies of God were known for we're known for rooted music. I mean, from the classical sort of to the, they have just like Catholic. You know,
Okay.
Catholic goes both classical and then they are quite rooted. They are quite rooted on our Nigerian local music. So it's the same
Mm,
thing with the Assemblies of God.
mm,
You understand? So
mm.
I got exposed to, like I told you, the Fred Hammonds that I tribute early enough. However, I did not discriminate the route I was in at that time.
Mm, mm.
So while I was listening to Ty Tribet, I was listening to Assemblies of God.
Yeah.
They had the
Yeah.
Cornelius Benjamin, Lazarus and Emmanuel. They had some other people that Assemblies of God people would always sing their songs, very local songs. So
Yeah.
while I was listening to those people, I would also, while I was listening to Ty Tribet, Fred Hammond, I would go back, listen to these other things,
Mm,
come back, listen to this one, listen. So it's knowing that, okay, I want to make global impact. I want to make global impact. I want to be able to reach the world. Like I
mhm.
want to be able to speak one language to
To so
everybody
many
for
people.
every
Yeah.
different audiences. I am one to different audiences for different reasons.
Mm,
So there are people that would love me because I do this kind of music. There are people that would love me because I do this kind of music. There are people that would love me because I do this kind of music.
mm,
You
mm,
understand? So my church gave me the foundation I needed
mm.
because that was where I understood. That was where I understood it. Because I'm like, when I hear people in church singing, and then people are crying, people are slain. I'm like, yes, so I know the fact that God can reach these people through this kind of music. It means
Yeah.
that this music is hitting somewhere. Like
Something is here.
there is a means. There's something
Mm,
it's mediating.
mm,
You understand? If
mm,
God can move through this music to reach out to these people, that means there is something I need to understand about music,
mm,
particularly even before understanding this kind of music. That is where I knew that, see, music is for the soul. If anybody's music ends at impressing somebody, you just give out a piece.
yeah. Yeah.
you
That's.
just you you just give out a piece.
Mm,
You just give us an act. You just, yeah, I mean, there are even acts that hit people so, but you just give us a thing that will not last.
a show for the moment.
You just give, exactly. You
Yeah.
just give us a show for the moment. But music is way music should not be reduced to that. Music is a gift to humanity. That, I mean, this is the understanding that makes some of us, even you, this is the understanding that makes you put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't abuse this gift. This is the understanding that makes us go go beyond. I heard the song you did with Daniel the Psalmist. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
there's how many syncopations did we hear here? How many? However, you get stuck. You
Hmm.
would you would listen and you would listen and you understand the lyrics. The music is beautiful. The message is passed. It gets into your soul.
And that's it.
The work of the music is done.
Hmm.
You understand?
Hmm.
Music is encompassing. Once a part of it is neglected, everything has gone wrong.
Hmm.
Everything has gone wrong. And so
Hmm.
this, I mean, this is also to the people that this is also to the people that are majority of your established musicians. They have these roots we're talking about.
Hmm.
As
Yeah.
much as you are in your as much as you're in your all contemporary church and blah and all of that,
There's still a
whole
root.
there's a
There's a
thing
root.
there's a thing
Yeah.
about, this is why, I promise you, this is why, if you want to talk about the heart of music worldwide, if you want to talk about the first, I would mention South Africa first.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about the heart of music
I know a lot
worldwide,
of South Africans are watching actually.
see, I would mention why, because it is right now that they are trying to go international, like they're trying to infuse international stuff, contemporary stuff.
Yes.
Those guys held on to their roots.
Hmm.
They held on to their roots up until the point where even we foreigners started buying into it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Started buying into it. And this is our peculiarity. This is our peculiarity. I would say it and say it again. We Africans can do our music and do that of the contemporary,
Hmm.
foreigners. But it would take a lot for a foreigner to do our music.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for capacity, if I should put it on a scale, I promise you,
Yeah.
we should
Yeah.
be on the winning edge.
Yeah.
That's why I said we
Absolutely.
don't just utilize the capacity we have.
Absolutely. like
You
being
hear
able to
Nigerian,
sing
you go
in
to
our
churches,
languages. I mean,
you go to
not to,
churches, you hear. Sorry, please go on, sir.
yeah,
Go on,
like,
sir.
just to buttress what you're saying, like, not to be disrespectful of or anything like that.
Of
We have the
absolutely.
capacity to sing in our local language and still impact the world,
Mm-hmm.
like past beyond people who understand our local language. There's a reason why
Exactly.
Omema is a hit right now. It's as simple as that. I will not say more than that.
You understand. You understand.
Let's say
You
the
understand.
word Omema is not in that song. I believe that song would have probably trended in a different direction. But just infusing that
I'm not,
word
not as long
into
as it
it,
did.
yeah, and it's still doing it.
Exactly.
And it's still doing it. So just
Exactly.
infusing that word. So we have the capability to infuse our own local language with English language or whatever language and still
Mm-hmm.
create timeless music that is acceptable everywhere else. Whereas
Exactly.
in a lot of places, the only thing they know how to speak is English language. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
we have that deeper connection to being able to understand, have these diverse languages in
Exactly.
Africa and still be able to mix it with other
The contemporary.
languages that it now makes it even more acceptable to a lot of people, and it's amazing. It
Exactly.
is really amazing, you know.
Exactly. I think probably out of the conversation, but this is very especially to we Africans and Nigerians.
Mm,
Our roots music is so blessed. Like we did not have to do so much work for it to be soulful.
mm, mm.
We didn't have to. We just came and met a very very soulful style of music
Genre
in the
is
African
already there.
system.
High
I'm
life
telling
or
you.
whatever you call it. Yeah.
Do you, I mean, in the next 4 years, in the next 5 years, any music creative that is African and is not doing well, it's not the devil's fault. It's not village
Mm,
people. It's the person, because right now the world is buying into our system. The
absolutely.
world is buying into our music.
Absolutely.
Produce. I saw literally every, literally every A-list art right now in the world has at least one Nigerian producer or one
Mm,
African producer.
mm.
Check, check check,
And they are trying to
check.
do
I saw.
Afrobeat. And
Yes,
they are featuring
yes,
Afro artists in their album.
yes. Because these guys are business people. They know.
Yeah.
They know that this thing is just. We've not even started breaking the industry. Like this
Mm,
is just the beginning.
mm,
This is just, we've not started breaking. So that is why the sense of identification and the means of identification is very rampant now. Everybody wants to come to Nigeria. Everybody wants to do an African tour. Everybody wants to do an African song, because these guys are almost understanding how powerful our root is more than us.
mm, mm.
What we've been running away from, they are coming back for it.
I mean, Chris Brown
And if these
almost won
guys,
a Grammy for African performance.
you can just, that is an insult. That is an insult. And maybe I should say is, I would not say it's slavery that influenced it, that would always want to go for something outside
Mm,
and not understanding the, you see, as an African, you cannot, I said with all confidence, you cannot do well globally if you don't understand Nigerian music. You cannot
mm.
impress a foreigner with foreign music.
Absolutely. That's what they've been
You
doing
cannot,
all
you
this while.
cannot do it more than them. You cannot impress a foreigner with foreign music. You cannot go online and do a cover or do a content that is contemporary and expect the whole of the United Nations to reach out to you. Is it not? It's not possible.
They've heard it
They come
before.
to us for our
They've
they
heard it
come to
before.
us for our peculiarity. Exactly.
Mm,
They come to us for our peculiarity. So meeting a Nigerian that tells me, "Oh, this is our Nigeria. One messaging is singing. This is our Nigeria." It is some. I take it as an insult to our system.
because they don't
It's an
understand.
insult to our system. It's an insult to our system. If we want to, if many of the truth is, many of us do music for selfish reasons, and
Mm,
music is in no way selfish. Music, there's a reason why music is we giving out. Music is service. Music is pure service. Music is pure service. This is what influences the kind of music you. If you go about doing the kind of music you want to make, you
mm,
know what you would do.
mm,
You know how crazy you will go. But
mm.
the truth is, you know that there are just a couple of people that will patronize it.
Eventually, nobody will listen to it at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
So
Even your own
exactly, there's
musician
an
friends. They will just listen
Would
to
not
it once, enjoy it, impress, and move
pick
on.
whatever they want to pick from it and move on.
That's it.
There is the art and the science of music. The art, the science is what is what conditions the art. So even thinking outside the box,
Mm.
there is like there
There's a
is
way
is
to do
outside
that.
the box you are thinking. Isn't outside the box you are thinking
Does it make
the
sense?
box you are thinking outside? There is a box too. There's a box in your thinking outside the box. So
Exactly.
thinking outside the box, there is also a threshold. There's also a threshold. You should also consider the people you are giving these things to.
I
Sorry,
know.
I reference Jacob Collier a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Collier started winning Grammys when he started doing things that are realistic.
Mm. Mm.
Yes, Jacob Collier he had done all of the microtonal. The moment he started doing things that are realistic, did Moon River, did All I Need,
That
did
makes sense. That has a
when he
soulful connection.
that a lay person can relate to. That is when he started winning Grammys.
Mm.
So the combination of what he knows, how much he knows with what a layman can take as music, that is where your craft and where your audience meets. That is where that is they call it in graph origin. That origin is
Mm.
where is what we call acceptance and relevance.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we call
Mm.
acceptance and relevance. So we Nigerians, we should be able to hold on to our roots. Once our root is able to see everybody now, Titrebet is sharing all the Afro versions of He Turned It on his page.
I know.
Because that
I
is
know.
what you
I've
cannot go
seen
and
it.
play what JP production played on He Turned It. He will not share it. What do you want to play that JP has not played?
Mm.
What do you want to play that JP? What do you want to play that any other piano or Paris Bowens had not played before he passed?
Mm.
So these are I mean, we are talking about rearrangements here. We're talking about
Yeah.
cutting.
Yeah.
We're talking about this is where, especially for our corners. I'm sorry I'm particular about Africans because
Mm-hmm.
I've taken it upon myself to
Yeah.
ensure that we have a strong community from the African music system. We don't at
Mm.
the moment. It's right
Mm.
now that people like you and people like us are stepping in to ensure
Mm.
that we have a community.
Mm.
That is why I'm particular about Africans. The American industry is almost settled. They have people that can talk to them anytime. They
Mm.
have their they have their fights, so they have their whatever, but they have easy way out. They have easy ways out of it. We don't,
Mm.
because there are many things we don't understand. There are many things we're not talking about. Do you understand? There are many things
Yeah.
we're not talking about. There are many things we're not saying. We should I know this was not part of it, but we
Yep.
should go back to our roots.
Mm.
African musicians, go back, understand African music, understand where it came from, understand where it hits.
Mm.
Once you're able to juxtapose this with any other kind of music you want to do, even you would love the peculiarity it comes with.
Mm.
Even you
Absolutely.
would love the peculiarity it comes with. Majority of the white clients that have reached out to you, Mr. Moses,
Mm-hmm.
90% of them will tell you, at this point, I want an African feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At this point, I want an
Yeah.
African. At this point, they know why they are reaching out. They know what they want. If they want somebody that will do all of the pads and FX, they won't call us. I
Mm.
promise you.
Mm.
The
Mm.
only reason they might likely call us is if they are trying to save costs.
Mm.
That is what some of them.
Mm.
But if they are going for good music, they reach out to us because they want a peculiarity. We have that advantage
They
and we
have a
don't even
few.
understand.
A
We have an
few.
advantage right now as Africans that we don't understand.
Mm.
We have a peculiarity that the world is looking for. So as long as we are strategically positioned with our music and our business, we would influence the globe.
Yeah.
A white
Yeah.
man right now might not have a lot to offer to his fellow white man because they are
Mm.
exhausting what they know. I'm sorry to say.
Mm. Mm.
They are currently exhausting what they know. So a
At the
white might
at the
not
end
have
of the
as
day,
much.
everything is. I mean, like musically, it's all how many 12 notes. Really, it's pretty
Do
much
you understand?
recycling. There's almost nothing
Yes.
out there that's never ever been done before. You know.
If you go through the cycle of Africans, do you know that Africa is one of the continents that produce kinds of styles of music almost every time. We
Mm.
started from there was Afro, there was
Hmm.
high life, there was Amapiano, there are other ones now that
Bro,
check the American music
that
industry. How
that
many
those are
times does
the
it happen that
those are even like the
how many
popular
times does
ones. They are. I'm sure they are like if you go to different countries, they have different
thank you,
styles, which is
thank
like
you,
unbelievable. It's so much. Even
thank
within
you.
Nigeria alone.
Do you
Within
understand?
Nigeria alone, by the time you start going to each of the ethnic group in Nigeria, And I'm not talking Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa right now. I'm talking about ethnic groups. They
Ethnic
have
groups, exactly.
different style of music, and like this thing is too much to
Exactly.
take in. So yeah.
So these right now, these guys, these the our foreigners and are understanding and knowing, and they're almost knowing before us. So I'm
Mm,
happy I'm saying this on a global platform like this.
mm,
We should take it. I mean, check out. Imagine, I mean, see, Burna Boy is traveling to do
hmm.
albums. These are white people now that are cutting Afro albums for him
I know mixing
because
Afro
right,
albums.
they are mixing cutting Afro albums, not because we cannot. I mean, of course, these guys they have preferences and all of that. But my
Hmm.
point is, these guys would come into our industry, take over it, will still become slaves to them again, even
That's
in our
terrible.
industry,
That's terrible.
if we don't, I'm telling you, if we don't understand our peculiarities as musicians, if we don't at some point keep their music aside, exhaust the one we know,
Mm,
even if we'd have to like, bring it together and bring some, this is where the distinction happens, this is where standing out happens, this is where sounding different happens.
mm,
You understand? So I mean, that was, if that was, to me, that was a necessary information to pass.
mm,
However, I grew up
mm,
in an Assemblies of God church, and it shaped my foundation. This is one of the reasons why, as long as Nigerian music is concerned, I can do it and do it well.
mm,
As long as
mhm,
African music is concerned, I can do it and do it very well because I held on to it. It was like I was born into it.
mhm.
I don't. If I was not born into it, I don't know if I would have gone for it.
Understand it.
But
Yeah.
at least I was born into it. I saw it, I experienced it, I understood the importance, I went for it, I held on to it, I studied it, and right now I can execute it just
Mhm.
the way it should sound.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? So foundationally, I am an Assemblies of God boy.
Mm, mm. Yeah.
An Assemblies
That
of God
that's
boy.
amazing. So when
Exactly.
it comes to rearranging a piece, for example, I know you started
Mm-hmm,
talking about it briefly, and
mm-hmm,
we're thinking about thinking outside the box, but also
mm-hmm.
understanding that while you are thinking outside the box, you still have to be realistic. You still have to
Exactly.
pass a message. You still have to be able to
Mm-hmm.
connect to people because there's no point
Exactly.
thinking about the box and now the whole thing sounds like a mess. It doesn't make sense.
It
So
sounds
like
outside the box.
it sounds like, yeah, you have to be outside the box, but it still needs to sound relatable. So
Exactly.
now, like,
Exactly.
what other things are you considering when it comes to like trying to do something new, especially when it comes to like rearranging something that is already globally acceptable and you want to add your own
Exactly.
twist to it? What are the things like you're looking for in either in the song that you can take as a
Mm-hmm,
cue to like execute what you're trying to do, or just
mm-hmm.
overall way of you thinking? What are the other things you're looking for to be able to like?
So when it comes to rearrangements,
Mhm.
I picture three things:
Okay.
myself, the original the original
Composition.
owner of the supposed, yes, the original composer, and then the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So on my end, what can I offer? On the composer's end, what was his line of thought?
Mm-hmm.
On the audience end, what, since this music is accepted, what around this music can I do that they would also accept?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? This is one of the reasons why bands that do covers for songs, they would, I'm sorry to say, they would
Mm-hmm.
never make a global platform.
Hmm.
Arti- the supposed goal from doing those covers will never be accomplished because they don't think from, some people do away with themselves and consider the audience and the composer. Some people do away with the audience and consider themselves and the composer. Some people do away
Hmm.
with the composer and consider themselves
And
and the
only the
audience.
audience. Okay.
Exactly. Some people just consider themselves and do away with the both.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm. Which
understand?
is
So,
which that one is
for
the
example,
most common one. That one is the most
thank you,
common one. Like, what do I
thank
want
you.
to add? All the things I want to add to the song. And you forget about
Exactly.
the person who
Thank you.
wrote it and you forgot about the people who are going to listen to it. So that one is very, very
Thank you.
common.
When I rearrange, by the message, every
Hmm.
music sends a message.
Yeah.
Every kind of music sends a message. I do everything possible to maintain the same message. let me use. I don't know if you saw when Paste, my father Emmanuel Iren released Agalio,
Mm-hmm.
when they did the Agalio cover. I don't know
Yes.
if you saw
The
it.
challenge. Yeah.
I did. Yes, I did it. When I was doing the cover, I already heard what my brother Steph did.
Mm-hmm.
I'd already listened to the song, so I understood. Okay, this is this is the message the song is trying to pass. The song is
Mm-hmm.
already, it sounds epic.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds, there's a whole lot of epic structure inside of the song.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of music can cut it with an epic arrangement that will still sound good?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had options. There is the rock, there is the new church kind of heavy music,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is the let me just say there's a rock kind of music, and then there's a new church kind of music. So already rock has some kind of epic element in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not when I say epic, it has epic elements. I mean, it's just rock is just an epic music that does not have orchestra in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? That is how rock is just epic. There's no orchestra in it. That's just the
Mm.
difference. So I thought of, okay, a heavy rock kind of music can enter this thing, and then there is a new church kind of music. Our new church, we are all about, we're particular about melodic hits and all
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Mm-hmm.
We barely have people that melodic hits and all. So the song is epic. The audience has already taken it as epic. Once they
Mm-hmm.
hear Agalio, they want to jump.
Yeah. They want to
They want
dance. They want to
to.
run
They want to
around.
exactly. They want to run. So, what can you give them that will still maintain the message,
That
the
feel that
picture?
will give them the same thing.
They know that there's something different, or they know that there's something different.
No, no problem.
Can you still hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you, and we
Can you
can
hear me?
also
Sorry,
still see your face a little bit.
I had power outage.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We
Okay.
can hear you.
I'm resolving the power. I'm resolving the power issue
No, no
shortly.
problem.
They know I can't hear you at the time,
Oh, okay.
but let me go on. They know that there is something.
We can hear you.
There is something.
That's why I'm giving thumbs
Sorry.
up. We can hear you. That's why I'm giving you thumbs up. Go on.
Okay.
Continue. Yes.
Okay. So they know that there is something different, but the first thing, the initial impression they got about the song is still there.
Mm.
You understand? So hear Agalio and um, hear a song like that, and then you want to. I mean, pulling any other kind of music is art. Do you understand? Music
Mm-hmm.
is art. I don't have. Don't take it off.
I hear
Music
you.
is art. There is no principle to it. Whatever works, works. Do you understand? However, as long as you are trying to as long as you have an audience in mind, as long as you have a community, as long as you have people
Reach.
you are trying to give an impression that
Mm.
will last.
Mm.
What you know, there has to be a threshold to how much you know.
Mm.
You understand? So for Agalio, like I said, there's the epic thing that wants to make people move. And then rock would also want to make people move. And then the new church music would also want to make people move. So if I bring these three things together, I can make something new and still maintain the message that is there and still
Mm.
sound new. So rearrangements are not contradictions for me, they are modifications.
Mm.
You
Mm. No
understand? They are not,
contradiction.
I'm not trying to tell you that the song will be better like this.
Mm.
I'm not trying to tell you this version, or I'm not trying to competitively propose something to you.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
I am this is the same picture. This is the same thing. Just have a different material of it.
Mm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Have a
Mm-hmm.
totally different material. So this is basically how I think when rearranging. That the audience can be satisfied, the composer can be satisfied, myself can be satisfied. This is one thing that I'm sorry I have to mention him. This is one thing that composers did over time that has given them all of the platforms they've enjoyed.
Mm. Mm.
Because for every time they put out covers years back, if you listen to the covers, you feel in this, you still get that thing that you got from the initial song. You're
Mm.
just getting it somewhere, you're just getting it you're just getting it somewhere else. You're getting into something else.
Mm,
You understand what I
mm.
mean?
I see.
You're
Yeah,
getting into something else. So sorry, 1 minute, just a minute. Let
no
me.
problem. So again, just buttressing on what he was saying, like, when you're rearranging, you might be, and I like the way he's breaking it down. This is also something I think about. I just don't put it in this particular way. Like, you have to be thinking about, what do I want to pretty much impact on this song that is already epic? What will the original composer of the song think about what I just did? Will it be acceptable, or will it feel like I just destroyed their song? And will the audience will
Yeah,
still be able
can you hear me?
to? Yes, yes,
Can you hear me? Oh, good, good.
yes. Can hear you.
So no, please go on. I think this explanation you're giving is very, very
Yeah.
necessary.
No. So you can hear me now, right? Correct.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I was just saying this is also something I usually think about, although I don't necessarily put it in the way you have just broken it down, which is genius, right? You got to be thinking about, number one, I always just even think about the audience first before I start thinking about myself, because I feel like at the end of the day, the number of audience that are going to listen to this is more than me. So I want to make
Exactly.
sure, like, I put it out in a way where the audience is getting something substantial from this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, does it make
Mm-hmm.
sense from an audience
Mm-hmm.
perspective? Then number two is like, what
Exactly.
will the original arranger and composer, when they hear this, will they approve? Will they feel like you've
Mm-hmm.
demolished my song, or what is all this nonsense that you've just done? Before I
You
now
understand?
start thinking about me, right? So
Exactly.
that's like the way I think about
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
So this is just, I promise, this is the body of, this is the whole definition of rearrangements. This is
Mm-hmm.
why, okay, listen to all of the A lists we have. All of the A lists. If you listen to their bands, reinterpret their songs for their events,
Mm,
for their gigs and all of that.
mm,
Once you listen to the band, you would start wondering, how did they get these people? Did they get these people that these people posted covers? Because if you should judge by what people post as content or covers of people's songs, you would realize that
versus.
from what an artist is doing on stage, it's almost less likely for an A-list artist to decide what he wants from a band from what people
Mm,
post online as well. Because
mm,
I listen to some arrangements, and respectfully, musically genius, musically, sorry, I said genius, musically sounds good. However, do you think do you think, okay, after putting this out, I can get a contract from this?
mm,
I can get a call. I can be called to do something else for the composer or for someone that is an art from this thing I just posted. And this
mm.
is one of the things that also influence my posting content on social
Content
media.
creation. Yeah.
I was telling somebody, if you should judge some of us by social media, you think we don't know anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You think we just know, when you see someone like Steph or myself come online and just put shine pad and play "We Lift You Higher, Way Away," or just play, you think that is the
That's the
okay,
whole thing.
this is how
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
However, we have a threshold, not because anything is limiting us or we are limited, but because we understand how the system works.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an understanding to how the system works. There's an understanding to what can be accepted. Do you understand?
Mm,
There's an
mm,
understanding to what can be taken in. There's an understanding to what can make someone reach out. Because at the end of the day, one of the reasons we put out stuff is for engagement. There's impression. The impression is what brings the engagement.
yeah.
And then from
Yeah.
engagements, we can now start talking about endorsements and all of that.
Mm,
You understand? So these are the particular reasons we put out stuff. So I feel one of the reasons we have people that don't pay attention to how music is being arranged is because their thinking faculty is slim.
mm,
They, they don't think long term.
mm,
They
mm-hmm.
don't think long term. And it's sad that many of us as musicians are still trying to impress our fellow musicians.
Ah. Yeah.
It's sad. I mean,
Never
which
did that.
what are, what are the chances that a fellow musician like you can call you and give you $100K job
Mm,
or your $100K project? What are the chances? What are the
mm,
chances that what are the chances that the reason for music, if the reason for music was to reach out to people that do music, then it's just like, let's say, if the reason for the world was just for we Christians, then it is pointless because it has become a
mm,
cult.
mm.
One of
Yep.
the things for the world is evangelistic, is to reach out to people that don't know it.
Mm,
You
mm-hmm.
understand? So one of the reasons we do music is to reach out to people that don't do it. So how can you make these people that don't know it connect with this thing
Understand.
that you know without
Yeah.
them doing it?
Yeah.
You understand? How can
Yeah.
somebody love music through you without them learning how to do it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is what shapes me putting out content, me putting out arrangements, me rearranging songs, me
Mm,
putting out stuff on the social media. Okay, say this is this, this is that. This has been my $1 million secret for the longest.
mm,
My audience are people that cannot do music because I believe that as a musician, you can do for yourself that thing I am putting out on social media.
yeah.
If I
Yeah.
come and play a flat seven and it suits you, you can just go back and sit and play it on your piano and it will suit you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? But there has to be a long term for someone that can't do it so that you can always come back. You can always come back and look for that thing that is suiting. Do you understand? And just that thing that you can't do for yourself, I'm doing it for you.
Mm, mm.
You understand? And from okay, let's say even inside the music industry,
Yeah.
I rearrange and put out stuff in a way that an artist can come into my page and picture his song, picture his project, picture
Yeah.
his album.
Yeah.
You understand? That's how I react. So imagine, say, okay, some that permit me to reference Agalio again. Imagine something like Agalio. Agalio sounds like a remix of the song. Like
Mm.
it sounds like the song was reproduced. There was just the music
No
changed.
original.
That is how I rearrange. It's like
Yeah.
the original thing is still there. It still sounds like a song.
Mm,
It sounds like that. I mean that I rearrange arrangements like their actual songs. So
mm.
that someone can listen and
They can identify
exactly. I think I want my people
without the vocals. They can identify it.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want my an artist can walk into my page and picture his stuff, see, envision a future or
Mm,
envision just envision something that concerns his career through my stuff. So
mm-hmm.
this has been I have barely done anything advertisements on
Yeah.
IG before.
And
I'm a
you
producer.
are so busy.
I I just put out what people want to hear, what people can connect with, what
Mm-hmm.
people feel they want to put out.
Yeah.
So these are things I
Yeah.
consider. There is no. This is so. The truth is, if we go about teaching people how to mix this patch with this patch, we will just give people a template that they don't understand.
And at the end of the day, they
We-
can reapply it
we
in
pass
a different
they pass
situation.
exactly. They pass it to the next generation without understanding. The next generation passes. So you see people that do things that if you ask some people now, why are why do people use why do people use orchestral hits? If you ask some producers why are orchestral hits used in songs,
Yeah.
you would hear very slim,
And
narrow
and
explanations.
one of the things,
You
let's even talk about that orchestra it because now that will take us to like Oxkey's side of the discussion.
exactly, exactly.
Uh, there are two things that annoy me with the modern day rearrangers these days: the overuse of orchestra aids and overuse of bells. Those are the two things that annoy me the most. The overuse of orchestra aids is so much these days. Now, they will not even make it so loud in the mix that the orchestra it is super loud in the mix that they want you to hear that they want you to know that they are using
Exactly.
orchestra it in the mix. Like, bro, we are not supposed to hear all these elements. They're supposed to add to
It's supposed to
the
be felt.
yeah, exactly. So now your J-pop bell, the most
J-pop,
used
J-pop,
patch on the montage in my life.
exactly.
it's been so overused in a way where it's so loud. Sometimes it's even louder than the piano or
Exactly.
whatever it is the main focus of the music
Exactly.
is. So it's like
Mhm.
when you are using these patches, there are some patches they're supposed to enhance, like just
Yeah.
they're supposed to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's supposed to just, you know,
It's supposed to give color.
just to give
It's supposed to
color.
give color.
But when you overcolor something, what does it become? It becomes a mess. If you add too much
Exactly.
Maggi to something, that becomes too sweet that you cannot even eat it at this
It
point.
becomes poison. It becomes
Exact.
poison. Like it becomes poisonous.
So, like talk about like the way how to, and I think
Mm-hmm.
mixing is going to be part of this because I feel like there's no way you can be a good arranger, a good aux keys player, and you cannot do basic mixing.
Me
And
too.
there is no way.
Exactly.
I've been thinking about it. There's no way I can separate it. So
Exactly.
like,
So
if you
the,
want to
the thing is,
expatiate on that.
the thing is, many people do that. What you're experiencing is music being deprived, and people are just trying to cover up for it. Now that was the last thing I was supposed to talk about when
Hmm.
it comes to there's what I call harmony of frequencies.
Hmm.
Once we're able to understand how frequencies work and what are the things that should cover different frequencies, I promise you, some of us will stop having 300 tracks on a song.
Bro.
The moment you understand how frequencies work and the job of different patches for different
Except
frequencies.
for Jacob
Yes,
Collier, he will still have
yeah,
300
that one,
tracks.
that one, nobody's taking it from. This thing, this is one of the reasons we have fact undefined music.
Hmm.
You understand? For example, people don't sit down to study patches. And
Mm.
when the couple that are here, I tell you, as much as you can. And the truth is, how do you want to study patches? Back to the first thing I said. How do you want to study patches without listening to where they were first used and how they were used?
And how they were
You cannot
used. Yeah.
without building a proper environment. You
Yeah.
will just run into principles that you cannot defend.
Mm.
You would just some people use bells because they heard other
They
people
hear
use it.
people use it. But where do
Some
you
people
use
use
it?
orchestra because they heard other people use. So this is why you hear people. I know you don't want to say this is why you hear people spell melodies with orchestra hits. This is why you hear people spell.
Exactly. So there are some, like,
I know you
if
don't
you
want
have a melody, and there are some patches with very short sustain, very short release. There are some patches
to.
with very long. So for example, typical bells is with long
Uh-huh,
sustain, long release. Imagine you are trying to
uh-huh.
play a syncopation that has da 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 da, something like that. But you are trying to use bell to play
A bell that
all
has
of
a long
that.
tail.
That's a that's a mess in your mix.
It's a, it's a blunder. It's just misunderstanding. I promise
Exactly.
you.
But I see people do that a lot.
That is it is music being deprived. Nobody is wanting to do music with understanding any longer. Everybody's wanting to do music by influence. So
Wait, 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 wait,
this is
wait, 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 wait. Say that again. Say that again. Say that again. People
I
don't want
said
to what? Yeah.
people don't want to do music with understanding any longer.
Mm.
Right now, people are doing music by influence and
They,
with
wa- they want to do
ignorance.
what they had from somewhere else without
Exactly.
understanding
They,
why that
they
person
want
did it.
to justify exactly. They want to justify a trend. They want to justify a supposed normal, their normal, and
Mm-hmm. Mm.
without proper understanding. For example, one of the reasons and one of the things I understand bells are for melodies that have space, like you just
In
said.
between.
Bell has bell has tail, bell has a long tail. So anything that has a long tail, you should understand this should be used for melodies that have space. For example, if somebody is doing ti do re, you know that the bell can do that because of the tail it has. You understand?
Mm.
And then it's ti do re. But if it's a bounce that has ti do re, I promise you, there are a couple of musicians or producers that you still hear a bell that has a tail on it. Now, if you want to cover a particular frequency that you feel, because bell covers a lot of high frequencies, Bell covers a lot of high
Absolutely.
frequencies.
Absolutely.
If you want to cover that frequency and you're not probably seeing anything that can do the job for you, it's a very simple thing. This is why you should also understand softwares you use. There's what we call the ADSR. You know about
Mm-hmm.
the attack, decay,
Decay,
sustain,
sustain,
release.
release.
If you
Yeah.
have a bell and you need to cover a particular frequency, and probably the part of it is a staccato, like it just
Mm-hmm.
bounces. It's very simple. Open your software, cut the release, use
Got
the
the
bell,
sustain. You know.
just cut it. At least it's covering the frequency. There's just something happening there. Like I said, music is art. Nothing is wrong. Some things can just be expedient. Nothing is wrong in music. It's just
Mm.
not necessary. It's just not right.
It's just
Or it's
not
not just
fit.
rather,
It's just not
yeah, it's
fitting.
not
Yeah.
wise. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Different situations require different things as long as music is
Exactly.
concerned.
Exactly.
So for an orchestra, if you open an orchestra hit patch, one of the first things you will notice is the heaviness.
Exactly.
The heaviness. So sorry, 1 minute. One of the things you would notice is the heaviness. So if you open an orchestra hit and the first thing you notice is heaviness, what does that tell you? This at particular points of the music should give the music weight.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding this thing is what will stop you from playing a melody and then you're using a weighty instrument to spell the melody.
To play the old melody. You know.
And understand that also, like I said, harmony of frequencies, understanding frequencies that for example, orchestra hit, simple trick. If you want to make an orchestra hit sound like an orchestra hit, use the first four octaves.
Mm.
So if it's a C sharp, the first four, let's say if it's a five octave, the
Yeah.
second C sharp, the C sharp,
C sharp
the fourth
two.
C sharp,
Yeah.
and the fifth one. So it gives you the
That
height,
weightiness.
depth, and then the muddy thing. That
Mm-hmm.
is how I use orchestra hits. And orchestra hits are designed to at some point give orchestra hits are epic. It's called orchestra hit for a reason.
Eat.
It's
It's called
epic.
a eat for
It's
a reason.
orchestra exactly. An orchestra is dramatic. Orchestra is one of the music that you barely expect anything to hear.
Mm.
So it's dramatic for a reason, and anything that is dramatic has to happen once in
In a
a
while.
while.
Yeah.
That you are producing music, it's not wrong if an orchestra he comes in just once in a 15 minutes music track.
Exactly.
Understanding that you load a patch does not mean it has to happen from the beginning to the end. Understand
No.
how it works.
Absolutely.
Understand why it is made. Understand what physics it covers. This we are talking about bell and orchestra hits. If I go about synths, you see synth. If synth was a human being, by now synth would have gone to the police to cry that it is being molested because we have abused, used, reused, dumped, recycled
Mm.
synths as they shouldn't be used,
And
as
we
they shouldn't
still
be.
haven't necessarily gone deep with synthesis and really understanding, how to design all these things. I see
I think
someone's interesting comment, talking about calling out people you don't know in this. So there's a lot of calling out people you don't know in this video rather than teach. Just another. Daniel, you cannot teach people
mhm,
what they don't understand. Let me put it this way: if you don't understand that you are not doing things the right way, then you will never really uh go ahead and get trained and get the teaching you need. So this is more of
exactly,
trying to let you know how to do things the right way, right? Like I said, there's an
exactly.
like it was just explaining, there's an octave that works best for orchestra 8. There's an octave that
Mhm.
works well for bells. So for example, if I'm playing, okay, I will not be playing orchestra 8 most of the time at the same octave where I'm playing my bell, because now that orchestra 8 will not have that weightiness anymore. The weightiness from the orchestra 8 is down within that middle range of your keyboard,
Exactly.
maybe the C3 area, C2, C3,
Mhm.
C4 maybe. Now when you start getting to C5, 6, 6, and you're trying to play orchestra 8 at that point, that is not orchestra 8 anymore,
That
because now
sounds
it's
exactly,
probably too bright, it's probably ash, right?
and it's light.
And it's light, it's not giving you that
Sometimes
bottom
it
anymore.
loses it
But for
loses
your
the
bell,
importance.
yes, for your bell, you want the bell to be up top to give you that high frequency range, you don't want to be playing your bell at the lower range button because it will actually sound muddy. Even though it's still a bell,
Mm-hmm.
but it will just sound very muddy the way it sounds. You want it up top. Those are some of the things that we're trying to talk about and understand here because people, if you're layer, for example, people layer bells on their grand piano. But if you're going to layer bells on your grand piano, you should, the way I think, you should not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have your bell to cover your 88 keys. Because what is your bell doing on your left hand down there? There's no reason to have
Exactly.
your bell down there. You shouldn't be hitting a low note and I'm still hearing the bell from the low note. That's a mod.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So
Mm-hmm.
again, this is some of the things I see y'all do, and we're trying to like kind of explain why and how. If you understand that,
Exactly.
that will be amazing because it changes the way you play, it changes the way you sound as well. You know.
Exactly. It changes your choice of patches, especially when this is for producers when cutting ups for people. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Understanding what a song needs doesn't happen by listening to the song.
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
I think this point I want to give is very, very crucial. Firstly, there's nothing new under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we're seeing are modifications of things that have been.
I've been done. Yeah.
Back to my first point, this is where this is the importance of environment. For example, if someone sends me a song right now and I hear the song, how do I want to know that it's ballad?
Mm.
Or even if I know that it's ballad, how do I want to know what to do? Being a producer does not guarantee that I know what to do on that particular song.
Mm-hmm.
What guarantees me knowing what to do on that particular song is how much I know about ballads.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I build how much I know about ballads? It's by how
By
much ballads
listening and
I've listened.
studying. Yeah.
By how much ballads I have listened to. So the art of doing ops is the art of listening. There is no once you hear anybody that cuts ops wrongly, the person have
Mm-hmm.
not taken out time.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I did ops for Shekinah Glory by Pastor Nath.
Mm-hmm.
I did ops for Shekinah Glory by Pastor Nath. I did a couple of songs in both this album, like this album and the previous album.
Yeah.
When I spoke to Steph, and Steph mentioned to, I think I needed to share the file with him for the ox I did. When I sent him the file, he was confused. I sent him, it was just 3 tracks.
Mm.
Just 3 tracks. I'm not saying I do just 3 patches I used
Three patches. Yeah.
because that was what the song needed. It was
Mm-hmm.
a flute, a Glock.
Mm-hmm.
It was a flute, a Glock, and an organ, and that was all the song needed.
Needed.
You understand? Because firstly, I understood what the song needed by how much I have gathered about
Studied.
songs like that.
Mm.
Secondly, I understand frequencies. Listening to the song, this place is covered, this place is covered,
Covered.
this place is covered. Do I have to do so much? No. Do I have
Mm.
to show such people that I know how to do ox at this time? No.
And by
I
the way,
give the
he could
song.
have done it by himself either.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I mean that's where this is now where collaboration of intellect is coming, but that's a
Mm-hmm.
conversation for another time. But I understood and I understand how frequencies work. There are
Okay.
some songs that have been sent to me, and I just throw in arpeggios and probably a pad all through and
Yeah.
spell melodies and send back to the client. Why? This is what the song needs. This is what the song. My brother, I promise you. I think by the next time you're doing something like this, we should have a session that defines what production is.
Mm. By the way, it
They
looks like
produce.
some people cannot hear you properly. Do you still have your previous setup? Your mic?
Okay,
Uh,
give me a minute.
no, no problem. No problem. I will just solo myself right here. So yeah, it's trying to fix that audio really quickly. Yes, I've been hearing the rumble that was going on as well. So I was trying to see if he is going to be able to like get back to his previous audio setup. Yeah. So again, I hope this is making sense to a lot of us. The whole idea is being able to understand what What do you need? All right, let me see if I can share my screen here. Let's see if I can share a screen. Why not? Let's see if I can share my screen. All right. I hope you guys see my screen here. Let me see if I can change the way I look here. And I want to kind of just share one or two things here. So one of the things we're talking about. So I'm sharing my logic screen. I hope you guys see that. Now, one of the things we're talking about is, let's talk about frequency. All right. This is this is a frequency chart. I know some of you already know this, but some people don't. So let's say this is an equalizer, for example, and on this EQ there are low regions all the way to high region. So if I expand this and I make this very, let's make this very large. So if you see this on my screen right now, uh there is a low region, there is high region. If I play a piano right now, now you can see how much space that whole thing is covering. That's pretty much a frequency range. Now your entire song is actually covering a whole area. Your bass is probably living around here. So if I hit a low note, watch where this is coming out from. I just want to make sure I'm still seeing Manny as well. Manny, let me know whenever you're ready. All right. So if I hit a low note, you guys see what is going on. It's filling this area. But if I hit a high note, you can see that spike hopped up here, right? It's different from here. So these are frequency areas where sometimes when you are looking for patches, you have to decide, what am I adding in this area? What kind of patch am I actually adding? Do I need to add here? So if I play something here, it sounds different from if I play it here. So the kind of patch I'm choosing to complement other people in the band, the guitar players, everybody, am I feeling a certain space? Am I feeling a certain region? Am I feeling a space that is necessary or not? Because you can just be in your own world and playing different things that does not fit the music, right? So this is one of the most important things when it comes to uh playing auxiliary keyboards, that needs to be understood. Because if you don't understand it, it's going to actually like limit the way you do things. You can hear, sorry, someone says you need to do a breakdown of your setup for the PD. Oh, okay. All right. No, noted. No problem. But just for the sake of explaining what I was explaining, right? Once you understand, we are in the frequency range. So, for example, if we switch to an organ, for example, if I take an organ patch right here, let me go to my own patches and bring in an organ. You see the way an organ, the frequency response of the organ is totally different, right? So if I have an organ in here, I just say big 3x here, the frequency response of an organ, if I put it up on my screen right here, this is the frequency response of an organ right here. You can see that there's so much mud in this place. But even though it's an organ, you can still have a lot of different sounds depending on how you are changing your drawbars, right? So if I mess around with my drawbars here, my sound will change completely. So now if I'm playing this, look at what is happening on my EQ chart right here. You see this region right here, you can see there was a spike in that area, right? That was that region. And that was due to these drawbars here, not this lower one. I'm not using this one right now. I'm on the the upper drawbars right here, right? But that is giving me what I'm seeing on my EQ, right? So if I reduce this a little bit, actually it doesn't want to reduce. So let me make this smaller. S- So if you see that, you see that my drawbar here is giving me this. But when I change this old drawbar setting and I go into this one, I have totally different sound. You see this area? That is what is filling up, right? Then if I take this away and I add a little bit of this and this, what sound are we gonna have? A little bit more here, right? If I just play only this top one, you see this drawbar setting is pretty much like an EQ on its own, right? Only this. If I had this, right? If I make my Leslie faster, what am I gonna get? If I had more low end to it, are we gonna get more lows? You see that? If I take up the highs and just had a little more lowers, right? So we have all this. This is what your organ is doing versus the piano, right? Because you can shape the way your sound comes through. And also the octave that you are playing on as well on your grand piano. We also now, change the way it sounds completely. Let me see if Manny is ready to get back in here. Let me just check my text with him. Uh, okay. Okay. All right. So let's see if Manny is ready to get back in here. All
Can
right.
you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Awesome. So
I
I was
can
kind of
hear you.
just demoing and explain one or two things in here, and let me get back to my original setup here.
Oh, great, 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 great.
Mm, all right. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes. So
Yeah,
we were
so
just talking about, yeah. Go ahead.
I think we're still talking about saints or so.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We're talking about saints. So, um, I think maybe I should now be practical. Say, let's talk about a complete graph frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a song that just has piano, bass, and drums, and I need to cut aux for. The first initial thing that needs to be covered is the body. And the body of a song, I put it around the mid part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? The mid part of the song. The truth is, once the mid part of the song is covered, like the muddy part of the song, the mid, because we know the bass covers the low parts of it
Mm-hmm.
and for the
Mm-hmm.
major parts of it. The guitars are one of the things that covered both the low mid and the mid part of the song. So for the
Yep.
mid itself, this is where things like pads,
Mm-hmm.
this is where things like polysynths,
Mm-hmm.
this is where things like this is where things like polysynths, this is where things like arpeggios, some kind of arpeggios,
Mm-hmm.
some not high end arpeggios,
Yeah.
some kind of arpeggios
Arpeggiating
cover.
scenes. Yeah.
Exactly. And then for low mids, like in between the lows and highs, this is where organs cover,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because organs are also responsible for covering the low
The low mid
bass
area.
of
Yeah.
exactly, and also the mid. So organs have where they shift, especially once the music has climax, once the music is at the point where it's all over the place, organs can now cover the mid
Shift
and the high mids.
a little bit. Yep.
Exactly, that's where you
Yep.
now move your this is where you
You
now
know,
move your octaves, move
drawbars,
from C. Exactly, play with your drawbars, increase the
the
what do they
highs.
call it? I've
Yeah.
forgotten. So once you're able to cover this place, I mean, before any drama, the music should have a body first.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like who you see rubbing a makeup and coming out naked.
Mm.
It's exact. So before any drama or whatever, the body has to be attended to.
Mm.
Once all of these things are attended to, the once this is what covers the mid. Like I said, organs cover low mids for me. Guitars would also cover low mids and mid.
Mm-hmm.
And then to highs are where accentuations happen, color, spelling out stuff and all of that. It happens
Mm-hmm.
within the high mid and the high. So
And
high
the
mids are
eyes.
where you have synths, these whole mono
L-
synths like in the
distortion
nines,
guitars,
exactly. They cover the high mid and the mid.
acoustic
So
guitars
this
as
is where
well
your
sometimes. Yeah.
exactly acoustic guitars cover the high mid and the highs.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where color, accentuations, I'll talk about drama later. Color
Mm-hmm.
accentuations and all of that. This is where it happens. So after giving it body and probably giving it some level of depth, I now go to giving these things color, spelling out stuff.
Yeah.
This is where now bells come in.
Mm-hmm.
Spelling out stuff. And when it comes to spelling out stuff, and when it comes to giving something color, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
if you overcolor stuff, it becomes a mess.
Mm-hmm.
If you overcolor stuff, it becomes a mess. So this is a pointer to the fact that you loaded a sign lead, or that you loaded a mono synth patch on your project. That means it has to happen everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the points where you feel as a producer, nobody will tell you where your song has to get color. Whatever point you feel like this thing should have color, give it color.
Mm-hmm.
Spell stuff with your bell, accentuate stuff with your synths, some level of some kind of drama, some kind of passing riffs to the
Mm-hmm.
supposed melody and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. You understand?
Yeah.
Still maintain, you are giving color to the body and not leading the body.
Mm. Mm.
Not leading the body. So whatever riff, whatever you are doing, still has to relate back to the
The
body
body of the
of
song.
the song.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So sorry to go back to the mid. Why I mentioned polysynths in mid, this is also to notify polysynths cover the mid part of songs, and somehow, some way, the low mid. And the low mid is because of the texture of polysynths,
Mm-hmm.
not because of how it's being played. Polysynths have depth already.
Yeah.
You understand? Polysynths have depth. Polysynth pad for people that use montage, it has some level of depth. If you are very good with dynamics, polysynth can cut for a pad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is to say there is as long as you're cutting aux for songs, please respect. We talk about frequencies. We're relating frequencies to octaves right now.
Mm-hmm.
Respect patches and their peculiar octaves.
Mm.
If you're cutting a polysynth, know when to go down your octave.
Octave. Yeah.
Know why you are going down your octave. Know when to go up your octave. Know why you are going up an octave. You understand? That is
Yeah.
just how it works. So
Because
that
your your
your
octave determines the frequency that will come out from what you're playing.
exactly
It
exactly
determines
your
it.
octave is the major determining
You
factor
know.
to
Yeah.
frequencies.
Yeah.
So you're not playing polysynths, and we are one of mix engineers' major problems.
Mm.
Even mix engineers do not know. Sometimes we send them frequencies that argue amongst
With each
themselves
other.
as patches and all of that.
Yes.
Mixing is easy when the producer knows how to respect frequencies,
Space.
patches, and exactly knows how to. That is music. We do one of the reasons we digitalized music is because from our various places we cannot. If, for example, if you want to gather everybody that follows you right now to do
Mm.
music to them, it's
Mm.
going to be almost impossible.
Mm.
So the idea of music is to the same close to the same feel these guys will have sitting down watching you play or watching you sing or watching you perform. They
Yeah.
should get it when listening to your music. And one of the things you would get watching somebody perform is ambience,
Mm.
space, detail. But we're losing these things. This is why I'm sorry. I'm sorry, whoever said I'm if I call people out right here, it's for good. If it sounds like I'm calling people out, it's for good. So that you have to know what is wrong to know what is right.
Exactly. Exactly. You
You have
can
to know what is
you
wrong
can change
to know
when
what
you
is
don't
right.
identify the problem. You know.
Exactly. Even when knowing what is right, you have to know that you have knowledge. You still need wisdom to apply it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that you know that policing is cut for aux. You still need to know how
To
it's
use
being
it.
used.
Mm.
You understand? So policings are not to be dragged with the space that your bass covers. So this,
Mm.
I mean, I wish I could talk about live play. Maybe I'll talk a bit about playing live also.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Maybe at the end of this, at the end
Yeah,
of
you could go
cutting
ahead to talk
polysyns,
about it. Yeah, right now.
cutting accompaniment. These things are called auxiliaries accompaniment.
Yeah.
So cutting accompaniment have to respect the body and still like give ensure that the body is fat enough,
Mm.
as fat as the music needs. And then this is after all of this where you can now come up with your drama and all of that, throw in effects, throw in your scenes that run to spell notes and all of this is just how it happens. Being dramatic, nobody will teach you how to be creative as an auxiliary player.
Mm.
If anybody sits down here to say, okay, being creative is this, is it does not, they are giving you, their path, their pace,
Mm.
their ideology. What you
Mm.
need is a template that you can run with and build your sound for yourself.
Yeah.
So if you are expecting someone to tell you, for if you want to land on 7, you run this kind of scale, they are you are taking what you don't need.
Mm.
You are taking what you don't need. What you need is okay. It's just like we have, for example, the many of us are mix. Many of us can cut for mix engineers. The truth is, we
Mm.
don't just know how to use the things that they use to mix. You
So is it?
understand? That is
Yeah.
just that is it's just the same thing. You
Yeah.
understand? It's just the
Yeah.
same. For example, if you should sit with someone like John Yosh for 2 months, with
Mhm.
your understanding of sounds and all of that, you cut for a mix engineer.
Mm.
You cut for a mix engineer. That is how arrangement auxiliary is. What you need is a template. This is how it's done.
Mm.
This is what should be done. These are the
Why
things you
it should
should
be done.
respect. These are the things. This is why once you have these things, you can go haywire with a template.
Mhm.
You can go haywire with a picture. You can go haywire with a threshold. These informations are not to limit you. They are just to guide your unlimitedness,
Yeah.
so that you're not being unlimited unnecessarily.
Mm. Mm.
It's your job as a producer to know songs that you should go crazy on.
Mhm.
It's your job as a producer to know songs that you should go mild on. It's not we
Simple.
that will
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not the ones to tell you. We are all producers. We're different producers because we have different minds.
Taste.
Nobody will
You know.
condition your mind.
Mhm.
Nobody will condition your mind on what to do. The only thing is this: remember, there is an audience. Remember, there is long term. Whatever you're doing, is it long lasting?
Mm.
Is it memorable? Is it giving the music what it needs? That is basically what classes like this are for, and that is what you should look out for whenever you attend classes like this. What is the template I need to go about my stuff? What is the template I need to be as creative as I want to be? You understand? So basically, that is it. This is it about cutting ox. This is it about cutting. Give it body. Give it body. Once your stuff is fat enough, once your stuff has space, literally every other thing can go. Every other thing can go.
Mm. Mm.
You can do the drama you have to do, as much drama as you want to do. Go for your drama. Go at least just be guided as a producer. Know what works, but respect frequencies. As an auxiliary player, also know how to be dramatic. I mean, give people a show. Give people a show. It's
Mm.
your job to give people a show. There are different ways you can give people shows. I mean, everybody that knows this auxiliary thing, they have their peculiarities. When you listen to Hills play, you know the kind of show you are looking out for. When
Mhm.
you listen to um, when you listen to someone like SNJ, you know the kind of show you are looking out for. When
Mm.
you listen to someone like King Lakon that works with Whiskey, you know the kind of show you're looking out for. When you listen to
Yeah.
someone like Moses Joshua, you know the kind of show you're looking out for. When you listen to Steph, you know the kind of show you're looking out for.
Mm.
If these men have their peculiarities, I promise you that they sound different doesn't mean they don't think alike.
Mm.
There
Mm.
is a template. Everyone is just running with it in their own style. That is why our music is applicable and is appreciated, because there is a law we're following. There is something that is guiding our creativity,
Yeah.
and these are the things we're sharing here with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
These
So
are the things we're saying.
and to talk about some of those, again, I know that sometimes when we are talking about this thing, it looks like, what are these people talking about? Let's be just to be a bit more practical, because one of the things I've realized is that when we do some sessions like this, people feel like we are talking in a different world sometimes. So just to be
I
a
I
little,
understand.
yeah, because it's like you and I can understand what we're talking about, but some people like, what are these people talking about? Just to be a little more
Mhm,
practical, let me give an example.
mhm,
If you want, do you, as an aux keys player, I feel like there are some effects you need to
mhm,
understand how to use for you to be very
mhm.
effective. Number one, you should know
Yes.
how to at least layer your patches on volume levels, like on a volume
Yeah.
gain staging level, right? You need to be able to do that. So,
Mhm.
like, how loud is my organ compared to my strings, compared to my pads?
Exactly.
I hope that makes sense. Let's keep
Mhm.
that as simple as that is,
Yes.
right? Then
Yes. Mhm.
do I need, at what octave do I need to be operating for my organ at this point in the song? So like if we give an example, just a very simple example, let's say a song just started, we are in verse one of the song, right? If we are in verse
Mhm.
one of a song and I'm playing organ for the song literally just started. There's no reason for me to give
Mhm.
you a full blast organ, and I will share my
Exactly.
screen here. Again, this is just me trying to be a bit more demonstrative because I feel like sometimes people watch
Necessary.
this and they feel
Necessary.
like I don't understand what they are talking about. Let me see if I can share my screen for you guys. So you guys tell me where if you see my screen. So this is your organ, for example, on my screen. I don't know, Manny, if you see my screen either as well. Uh, but if this is
I
my
can't. I don't
organ on
think
my
I can
screen,
see.
oh, okay, that's okay. If this is my organ on my screen,
Mhm.
and the song just starts, guys, you see my mouse, right? uh if the song just starts, there's no reason for me to sound like this. I don't know if you hear that sound,
Mhm.
right? There's no reason for me to have my
Yeah.
drawbars and my Leslie sounding like this at verse one of the song, right? That is
Mhm.
totally wrong. It's not, I would not say even wrong, it's just not ideal. At verse one of your
It's
song,
expedient.
it
Exactly.
should be calm. It should be solemn.
Exactly.
We should be able to hear what the lead singer is trying to say. So, what am I supposed to do to my
Mhm.
organ? I can take away some of my, I have to remove all these, my highs, on my drawbars and give you, it's almost as if you are padding at this point, right? And
Yes.
then I can remove my Leslie, make it slow. It should be calm. Remember, slow. Recognize the moment
Mhm.
of the song. The moment of the song will give you
Exactly.
how to apply your sounds. So at verse one, that is calm, my Leslie can be in a slow area, and I can like, I can be
Yes,
playing
sir.
something like that for
Exactly.
verse one. But when we get to
What organ
chorus,
is that?
this
What
is
organ is that?
Amond B3X by IK Multimedia.
So do you use the? Do you use the? They have presets.
They have
Do you
preset,
use the
but
presets?
I've never used their preset before. I just
Okay.
dial in my own
Check
settings.
for check through the presets. You see one that is named one soft.
One
There's a
soft.
preset that is named one soft. Yes,
Okay, let's see.
one
One
soft.
soft. Here we go. One. Yeah, I got it. So this is one soft right now, right?
Yes, these are one of the things exactly.
So like if I'm on verse one, I can be on this soft setting and just give you like,
Exactly.
but when we get to chorus, I can begin to like now go crazy and bring in all these
Mm-hmm.
other drawbars and like,
Exactly. Exactly.
so literally, it's
Exactly.
as simple
Exactly.
as that. Sometimes, like just understanding the moment of the song. Do I need to have a reverb on this? This is another effect that I feel like we don't understand how to use. And as an organ player, or as an aux keys player, you cannot do without
Mm-hmm.
understanding your effect, right? Like if I
Yeah,
am trying to do I'm trying to achieve a certain kind of sound, what is this sound, what is this sounding like? I hear a lot of reverb echo. Some people just call reverb echo. What kind of reverb is this? Like all reverb,
that's the initial problem.
you know
The
and
initial.
also the other one again, and just for me to be what's it called, to demonstrate what I'm trying to say, I will load up just one of my patch from this one. Let's just see, let's just call this what's this one, right? So you need to understand your reverb, you need to understand your delays as well. Like there's no way you will not
Mhm.
be able to, if you don't understand how to use your delays, it's a problem. Because now you're like, I'm hearing this. Is this a, am I supposed to, what's the tempo of this song? Am I supposed to be on a quarter note delay? Am I supposed to be on an eighth note delay? Is my feedback on my delay too much? Right? So if you see a delay, for example, a delay will be like, let's just call a simple delay, a simple stereo delay. If I turn off all these other effects here, a delay will sound, like, let me hear this one. This, you can begin to hear that feedback coming through. If I increase the mix a little bit, there's no reason for me to play with this amount of delay, right? I need to dial it back down, right? Like, okay.
Yeah.
But depending on the song, depending on the amount of space I have, I can choose the kind of delay time I want. Is it quarter note delay?
Exactly.
Because it will sound differently. This is eighth note delay, right? You see, it's going in eighth note. If I go to half note on both left and right, you see, you did
Mm-hmm.
not hear the delay until like half time later on. So these are some of the things as an aux keys players that we need to understand: your reverb, your EQ, volume balancing, panning, delay. I won't even go into compression because honestly, I feel like aux
Mm-hmm.
keys player, that one might even go a little bit over your head when you start talking about threshold,
Exactly.
ratio, all of that. Like,
Exactly.
you know, go ahead.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Thank,
again, this
thank
is
you for
just
thank you for demonstrating.
just to be practical, because again, I feel like people be like, you guys are talking about this, but we don't see any example of how we're supposed to apply this. I know I cannot go in depth right now, but I just wanted to throw that in there a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is
Mm-hmm.
there anything else when it comes to and before I go to my question that I was looking for, is there anything else
Yeah.
when it comes to sound selection that you look at that you feel like you've never really mentioned? You know.
So like I said, my sound selections are always, they are always around what the music needs.
Hmm.
You understand? However, I'll just give a couple. Just give a couple of. I think since you can demonstrate,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just give a couple of. I'll just give a couple of little hacks that I use, especially when cutting for people.
Hmm.
So there was a particular era where we started this whole solo synth thing,
Yeah.
and it was being used in a particular order. However, uh, at some point I tried to tweak, I tried to use analogy.
No, no, I actually don't.
You okay?
I
Do you
don't.
have anything that sounds like a sign lead? Do
A
you
sign
have
lead,
anything
yeah,
that
for
sounds
sure.
like a sign lead?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, please
I
can
do have
you load something?
let's see. Let me know when you hear this.
Okay, good. So you see the delay you used. You have the stereo delay, right?
All right, so
For
let me go back to my screen so that the people can see what
yes.
we are trying to talk about here. So if I go back to my screen, all right. So hopefully they can see what I'm trying to demonstrate. So this is coming from my one of the patches that I gave out to people actually on my patches that I released a few weeks back. So I call it a spooky sign lead. But yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
yes, 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 I saw that. Okay, okay. So you have you been able to load a stereo delay?
All right, I know I have a delay even from like Alchemy that I have on it, but I can turn off the delay inside of Alchemy itself and put a stereo delay on. So the delay inside of
No, leave,
Alchemy,
leave the delay you have.
okay, all
Leave the
right,
delay you have on.
okay,
Just
back
load a
on.
stereo delay.
Yeah, okay, a stereo delay back on. Yes. So I have a stereo delay on
You've
with
loaded a
it right
stereo
now.
delay. So
Yes.
now try to run a pentatonic scale from down, like so, just a scale that goes down.
Okay, like descending. You mean descending, right? Let me make sure you can still hear me. I'm not sure if Manny can still hear me. Can you hear me, Manny? Oh, it froze. It's frozen. But I think it's talking about a descending pentatonic scale, right? Just that is already giving you like that arpeggio feel, that long arpeggio in a way, right? I remember I remember making a patch. Okay, it's trying to dial back in. Let me bring Money back in. Um, all right, Money, let me know when you hear me again.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, great, great, great. All
Yeah.
right.
So
So yeah, you were
did you
talking
load that
about
up?
a pentatonic scale, descending pentatonic scale,
Like
right?
just any scale that goes down, like from your high octave to your low
Yeah,
octave.
yeah, right.
So you see, so this for like we're trying to be practical. So
Yeah, yeah.
if let me say let me say a song a song is breaking from climb from a song is breaking from a very, let's say, from a chorus back to a second verse. You know how it
Yes,
drops
yes,
sometimes from a
yes,
chorus to a
yes,
second verse.
yes.
Once it drops to a second verse,
Yeah.
just for drama,
This
you can
is a
just throw
good
this thing with a
spot.
delay.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
And then it goes to
You see
verse
what
two.
happens. So
Yeah.
it just goes. So I either do it before the verse or immediately the verse starts.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, that's a it's a good feel. It's a good feel. It's a good feel. Yeah. Hope you guys kind of like that. Very simple trick. Just throw a stereo delay on like a sign patch, and just do like you could do a pentatonic run. Yeah, like you could
Exactly.
do. It's just more of
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
effect and just giving color, pretty much. It's nothing crazy going on. But these are like things you can do. But some people don't even know you can have a sign patch without this delay. It doesn't give you the same effect, right? You can have the same. We can both have the same patch and use it differently by just be able to add little effect here and there. So without the delay right now, this is what it sounds like. It sounds dry, right? But with the delay, it's
Mm-hmm.
already giving
Exactly.
you, it's just bouncing everywhere
You
and it's just like it fits, it makes
and you know
sense.
that that stereo delay,
Hmm.
the left is on a 1/4
Yeah, and the right
delay
is
time,
on 1/8.
and then is 1/8.
Yeah.
So if it's being listened to with an actual stereo device,
Hmm.
there's drama.
There's drama going on.
And there is,
Different things.
because
Yeah.
there's one coming to your face, there's one coming from here, and there's one coming from there,
Coming
and
from here.
you're receiving three different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why I use pentatonic particularly is because pentatonics are, all the notes are relative. You can't go
Hmm.
wrong combining any of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You understand? So that
Yeah.
delay still harmonizes itself.
Mm-hmm.
So anywhere they meet, that's if you tried it on another scale, it might sound good, but not as good as pentatonic.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
pentatonic harmonizes itself. Do can go with re can go with mi can go with so can go
So
with la. So wherever
exactly.
they meet, it still sounds very, very much harmonic. You get, so
Exactly.
that is
It's
why I use
different.
pentatonic on
Once
that.
you start adding the seventh into it, then you start having problem.
Exactly.
It
Starts.
depending on like
It
what.
works, but this is more. The other one can cut as like it's musical. It's not wrong, but this listening to it already, there is a soothing. There is something. There is a way it feels.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
even just there's a way it feels listening to this.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then this is just one of them. Like I said, this cuts it can happen around. It can just happen. It doesn't have to be necessarily a chorus with a
Everywhere.
verse. I
Yeah.
just use that. It can happen anywhere. Depends. It's as a producer, your choice to know when to use it and how
How to use
to
it.
use it.
You know.
You understand? I think the reference I should use for I know the online mix for the experience wasn't so good, but
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the way I do aux on stage is just the way I would do it in the studio. That's why most times you see me with so many boards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't joke with I don't joke with playing aux live. I do
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
like I would do it when
In the studio.
programming aux. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So, like I said, the first thing I'll do is to give the music body. So my first and initial patch, I wish Steph was yeah, my first and initial patch were a combination of course, polysynths
Mm-hmm.
and then flutes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And then like J-pop, that's the only bell I know on
Montage.
montage that's good. I'm not a
Yeah.
montage. I'm not a montage. The only thing I enjoy from a montage are the polysynths.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's J-pop flutes, and then probably some PWM kind of old synth.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the other boards, you can now throw in. I don't use my organs. Organs are organs,
Mm-hmm.
except need be. There are situations where I combine organs with polysynths.
Mm.
Like if I'm trying to
Stack
cover a very, very large space and I'm trying to make it as fat as.
as full as
But I
possible.
had that, and then I had something like this part you just did, but it
Yeah.
wasn't it wasn't um it wasn't mono, it was poly.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
You understand? It was poly. So that's why I did all the pitch bend work with poly and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
You understand? Then
Yeah.
you can now have a particular board that has strings and bell.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Mm-hmm.
combination of string and bell covers a very, very high end.
Mm.
Exactly. This
Mm.
sounds is this peculiar sounds?
No, this one is from my patches that I actually gave her for free as well.
Oh, beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful,
yeah. It's
beautiful. This is
let
beautiful.
me go back to my let's see if I can go back to my screen here. So in here it's just I call it MJP sign. It's just like a
Wow.
all right. So it's very
Beautiful.
you
And
can
these
kind
are
of
these
like
are logic stuff.
yeah, this is from Alchemy. It's from Alchemy. I just designed it in Alchemy,
Wow.
sign pad, and kind of just mess with it. So it's an Alchemy.
Wow.
I feel like Alchemy is one of those plugins that people sleep
Yes.
on.
They don't
Uh,
like alchemy is a world on its own.
bro, like if you sit
Alchemy is a
down with
world on its
that,
own.
with that plugin, there's a lot. I feel like if you have that plugin and you know how to use it, you might get away with not having Omnisphere. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there was a time I was crazy about
Mm-hmm.
Omnisphere before I started understanding how to design my own patches
I don't
in
use
pretty much.
Omnisphere at all.
Lately, I've not really been
I don't
using
use
it anymore because it's like, I don't know. But I
mm-hmm.
bought it because I felt like I needed it. And after a while, when I started understanding and knowing what I know how to do now, it's like I was not really using it anymore. But yeah,
I mean,
just being
it's
able
better
to
to have it and not need it.
yeah, because you never know when you're gonna use it. Someone
Exactly.
was talking
For
about the
example,
delay.
have you explored have you explored the vocal effects, there are effects on Omnisphere.
Uh,
There Have you tried some of these church crowd effects?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
from Omnisphere
yeah,
they get them.
yeah, yeah. That one that people are just crying as if they are in the spirit. That one, I remember that.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
remember
Yes.
that. I know everyone.
Yeah,
Whenever
I mean,
I feel like it's also one of those things when I see content that people have overused because you can literally tell that this is from Omnisphere.
so so exactly. People sampled it. People sampled
Yeah.
it. So many people did not know it was from Omnisphere. So some
Oh.
people had Omnisphere and were using the samples. Yeah, people
Oh.
sampled it and were people didn't know
Yeah.
it, they were from
Yeah.
Omnisphere. So Omnisphere is another. I mean, there are a couple of things there, but for now, I don't use it.
Yeah.
For
So
now, I don't use. So that sign, that whole sign thing is one, and then like I said, playing aux live. These are for play aux live. First thing, if you want your piano player to love you,
mhm.
give him a situation where he can play piano and play piano alone and trust you.
Alone.
For
Yeah.
example,
Without
everybody
having
that
to.
everybody that plays piano with me would rather play piano alone,
Yeah.
because I am
The
I
cover
am
the
I'm
the cover the
sure
rest.
cover every other thing,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
that is the job. It is to make the pianist find expression. That's why an auxiliary player is there.
Absolutely.
So if I am
Absolutely.
there and the piano player still has to patch a lot of stuff, then as an aux player there's still a lot of work to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Auxiliary playing is not a joke. I mean, you
It's a
can
lot
get
of
away with
work.
it in the studio, because
It's
you can get away with it in the studio, but as
because you
long
don't have to
as
be
the stage is concerned.
thinking. You don't have to be overthink. You can be thinking slowly in the studio. On stage, you have to think
Exactly.
fast.
Exactly.
As the song before the
I
song
think that one.
comes.
I think exactly. I think
Yeah.
playing live on stage is even another conversation, because
Mhm.
playing playing auxiliary live on stage is even another conversation, because
And I
that one
think
this is that one it's an intellectual tasking.
yes.
That one prepare for it. Like, you have to train. You have to train for it. It doesn't come by gift. That one doesn't
Mm.
come by
Yeah, you have to train for it.
talent.
I
You
know
have to train
a
for
lot
it.
of people on this stream before we started was already asking me to get my aux keys player at church to also come on live one of these days with me.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like 4 or 5 years ago when he first joined the church. He's a good, great piano player. But aux was the only thing he was playing on aux that time was just parts. So, like, over time, with
Oh.
me explaining, teaching, and working
Mm-hmm.
with him over
Uh-huh.
time, sometimes he does some things like this. Sometimes I'll just look at the vibe. I was like, okay, I see you. You're giving me what I
Exactly.
want to
Now
be hearing.
this. I'm sorry. I have to talk about this.
Yes.
This musicians,
Mm-hmm.
musicians. I'm saying this from a position of love
Mm-hmm.
and sorrow. Musicians from a position of love. Please drop your egocentric self.
Mm.
Drop your egocentric demands aside, and look for somebody that knows what you need, and sit under,
Mm.
learn,
Mm-hmm.
serve, ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nobody might have the time to sit you down and say this is how you done. Stay, just have an example.
Mm-hmm.
Have an example. Every see, this life should be easy for everybody. Sometimes it's our ego that limits us.
Mm. Mm.
Majority of people that are struggling with this music today, they have people they can submit to. They know that they can submit to this person. They know that this person has what I need.
Mm.
However, an egocentric part of man, that is a limiting factor to a man.
Mm.
I
Mm.
tell you, there is an egocentric part of man. Some people have walked out of their process because of how they are supposed, the person that are supposed to train them, because of how the person talked to them, or
Mm.
because I'm older than this person, or because just one very, very, very unnecessary. Now, look at your aux player. They are asking for him on this live.
Yeah.
I mean, whether he likes it or not, no matter how difficult he would say that it was for him to learn,
Mm.
it would have been more difficult if he did not meet an example that showed him, okay,
Mm.
this is how it works.
Yeah.
This is how
Yeah.
it's done. This is not, see, I promise you, promise you, for some of you here, you don't want to learn this thing the hard way.
Mm.
If you
I
learn this thing the way some of us learned it,
I
you
I
would
I passed
you
through
would
I passed through
you
that
would
as
grow
well.
old.
And I will still share
You
my
would grow
story
old.
fully because I remember the way you grew up at Assemblies of God. I grew up at a church called the Apostolic Church. That's the name of my home church. My dad was a
CSE.
pastor.
Is it?
TAC, the Apostolic
Oh
Church.
wow.
They
CSE.
usually
Okay, okay.
wear this blue choir uniform, blue suit.
Oh, oh, oh,
Pastor
oh, oh.
Nathaniel Bassi, actually. originally from the Apostolic Church.
Wow.
Rotimi
Wow.
Akinfenwa, Benga Akinfenwa, right? Just like
Wow.
our big brothers from the Apostolic Church originally. The kind of music we do is not even contemporary. I had to leave my home church and go and sit under somebody in a church where they play contemporary music and sit down and
Wow.
be watching. Look at this man. Look at
Wow.
this man's comment. Steph says I'm
Please leave
Manny's
Steph
Oxkis
alone. Please
player.
leave. Just leave Steph alone. Leave Steph. Steph will be fine.
So I left my
Just
home
leave Steph
church
alone.
to go and sit down under this guy. They only had one keyboard player. Bro, I had to just stand several months. I would go to choir rehearsal with him. I would go to church service with him and just to go and watch him play. So like,
Oh wow.
oh yes, Coach Tough is here. Joseph, also from the Apostolic Church. So like the kind of music we did, they still do back then. So like I had to leave and go there and go and like serve and go and like watch him just shadowing him. I was not even playing Ox. I was just shadowing him on how to play like main keys and just shadowing and shadowing and shadowing. And if you're in a situation where you have to do something like that as well, and there's an opportunity for you to do that, give it a shot, give it a try. Like, go in a place where you can just join only for the purpose of just learning, like, how are you doing this? It might take you years before you eventually figure it out, but once you figure it out, it's yours forever. Like, I've been really proud of how this guy now approaches ox keys and whatnot. Like, it's been amazing. But yeah, and we're trying to take it to
Exactly.
the next level of
Exactly.
production. And I feel like ox keys players are usually great. Ox keys players eventually become great producers as well, because you've been playing
Exactly.
Ox live. You've been thinking outside the box on the spot live. Now in the
Mm-hmm.
studio is an easy peasy. All these things that you've been doing live under pressure, you can just start bringing them out with so much
Exactly.
ease
That is
and
so.
speed.
Practically, it's more than it's about being an ox player or the art of the ox itself.
Hmm.
It's the capacity to understand that makes the person a better producer. Not even the kind of the patch that the person has been. It's the because playing ox
Hmm.
is more of understanding than expression.
Hmm.
We have interchanged it right now. It's more expression than understanding,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I hope we correct that soon. But
Hmm.
it's more of understanding than expression.
Hmm.
I see this thing I want to say is very controversial, but it is the truth. How you know that somebody is playing ox and playing it well is that you're not hearing the person.
Eee.
I tell you,
Mm.
how you know someone is playing ox and playing it well is that you're not hearing the person.
You see that thing that you just said? That is something a lot of people don't understand. People be like, we are not hearing, and I get this comment a lot from my YouTube channel as well. Sometimes I post a video, people be like, we are not hearing what this guy is playing. No,
Exactly.
you're not necessarily supposed to hear him.
Supposed to
You're
hear
supposed to
it.
feel it. So the
Thank
moment you
you.
start hearing it
Thank
and
you.
it's now overshadowing, you got number one, you have to be able to identify. In fact, this changes the whole game. As an aux keys players,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be comfortable with you not being overly heard in the mix, because that's not your role.
Thank you.
So you have to be
Thank
comfortable
you.
with being in the shadows of the main keys player, and that's very tough for
Mm-hmm.
some people to actually understand. Like, I'm not
No,
supposed to be
it's
heard.
not. I mean, the problem is not understand. It's like it's self-explanatory. It's called
Hmm.
aux,
Hmm.
auxiliary.
Hmm.
Auxiliary. What is the meaning of auxiliary? It is a supporting scheme for something.
Okay, so
It is a
someone just
supporting
asked a
scheme for
question.
something.
Someone just asked a questions to that. Someone said, but if you don't hear, how will you impact the administration? That's why you have in-ear monitors, right? You can hear yourself. I'm not talking about hearing yourself. You hear yourself in your in-ear monitors. You can blast your ears with yourself if you want to. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the
Mm-hmm.
final mix unlike the house or in on your live stream, right? The final
Mm-hmm.
mix that we
Mm-hmm.
are hearing for the audience, not for you. The
Mm-hmm.
mix for the audience, in that mix for the audience, your role is not to be overly heard. Your role is to be felt. You should be contributing to the mix. So if I'm playing a piano
Mm-hmm.
and you are playing a part, is the part supposed to be louder than the piano? Depending on the style of music you're trying to do, if you are doing the music where the worship leader is like parts, give me only parts, you know those people, only part, that's different.
Exactly.
But on a mainstream urban song, the grand
Exactly.
piano, it's more likely preferred or needed to be heard over your parts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Over your,
Exactly.
little scenes that you're doing here and there. You are just adding colors to it. So in your own ears, go ahead, hear yourself the best way you want to hear yourself. In the
Exactly.
final
And
mix for the
also,
audience,
also,
that's not for you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, impacting that you are ahead does not mean you impact. It doesn't mean that you impacted the administration or
Mm, mm-hmm,
you made impact. You are ahead. What drops a long lasting factor, or what drops a long lasting thing to a particular session or performance or administration is not just what you do, is
mm,
how you do it. Sometimes
mm-hmm,
the quest to be heard is contradicting and compromising the supposed thing you should leave behind in that particular performance or particular administration. So this question these are questions that also come from the position of people not understanding their roles
mm,
when doing music.
yeah,
You
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Impacting a music, it is less individualistic in a set. So this is one of the things this you need to understand, the person that asked the question. It is almost not about what you are doing. If they invite you to a place to just come and play aux, only you on stage, and you play all those things you're playing, you will look like somebody that left rehab or somebody that they need to take to rehab. So standing by yourself, it's almost pointless. Even happens in music. There are some things you play. There are some things you play when cutting aux that if you solo it, Mr. George, you know what I'm talking about. If you solo it, it
Yeah,
sounds very rubbish.
yeah,
But
yeah.
once it is in context music,
It
you know
feels
that
good.
something good is going on here.
It feels good.
So
Yeah.
it is not about what you are doing. If you feel if you feel a personal need to impact the music, something is wrong. Something is wrong. The
Mm-hmm,
way to impact the music sometimes is to pipe low and allow what needs to be done to be done.
mm-hmm,
Someone played, I did a live recording in 2023,
yeah.
and someone played aux for me. And there was a particular song we did, and I told him, Ezekiel Patrick, my intern, I told him, play only source 2 till this song finishes. He did it. And list walked up to him, Prio did in particular, walked up to him.
Mm,
Said, that
mm,
song that you played was my favorite, and I love what you did in that song. I mean, and he was looking at, he wanted to say, but this, I said, shh, close your
don't
mouth.
worry.
You did what was required, and you
What
are
the song
appreciated for it.
needed.
The volume, the volume is not this thing. It's the delivery and what was delivered and how it was delivered. It is the
Mm,
quality right now and not
mm,
quantity of you packing. You did what was required, and that is music.
mm.
You did what was required, not just for the music, also to support every other thing that happened in the music. So
Yes.
making impact in the administration, it is collective. It is not about who is on what or what is on who or who is on
Absolutely.
who or what is on what.
Absolutely. So
You
like
understand? So that's, I
ox.
mean, that has to be so that people are not going around with the idea of I have these people to impact. If you are going with a team, if you're playing with a team, think like a team member.
Mm-hmm,
Think like a team member. It's just the way a footballer will not carry a ball from the odd end of his from the beginning of his post and dribble to the other end of the post. That is how
mm,
music works.
mm-hmm.
It is teamwork. You'll have
Yeah.
to work with everything that is around. You understand? So
Yes.
sorry, I just had to put that out there so I can clarify that for
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
person who asked.
Someone, just to wrap up this conversation of the ox, and then I have one final question that I will get to. I know someone is asking for like, can we get a list of ox sounds? Again, this goes back to the beginning of this conversation. Giving you a list of ox
Mm-hmm.
sounds doesn't necessarily help you. Because now, if I tell
Exactly.
you, okay, we have, and when we say aux sounds, there are some sounds that are not originally from the keyboard. They are just sampled into the keyboard. Flute, or for example,
Thank you.
which is like everybody knows money for flute.
Sample. It's
Originally,
sampled.
flute is a wind instrument sampled into the
Exactly.
piano, well, onto the keyboard, rather, I want to say, right? And
Hmm.
you can play it as an aux sound, right? But it's not
Hmm.
originally a keyboard instrument, it's a wind instrument.
Exactly.
Uh, so if we're
Exactly.
trying to talk about list of aux sounds, let's start with like pads, right? Sometimes you have a dark pad. So he was talking about source 2. You can just have a source 2 all the way from the beginning to the end of a song
Exactly.
and just stay there, and just
Exactly.
stay on a dark pad if that's what the song require. And if it is the song where even though you might be on the same on the same dark pad, but as the song goes on, if your dark pad has like a filter on it, you can go from like dark to
Mhm.
brightness, maybe in the chorus, right? It can start from,
Exactly.
you know,
At
and
climax
then
of
it
the music.
can,
Exactly.
so it can like changes from like
Exactly.
chorus to verse. It can be dark at the chorus,
Hmm.
at the verse, and then becomes brighter at the chorus, and then back again to the bridge. At the beginning of the bridge, you can bring it back down to, again, you are still on the same source too,
Exactly.
same chord, but you're changing the way the sound feels, right? Same sound,
Exactly.
different feel,
Exactly.
right? That's one. You can,
Exactly.
and another way I would say you should go ahead and understand what sound to use is if you're studying a song, listen for what they are doing in the song. There are some songs, there's some genre already tells you the kind of sound you should be doing. And I made an example
Hmm.
before. If you have a Caribbean song, let me give an example of Jonathan Nelson, Jehovah, you that trust in you. Da, 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 da. That song, you know you have to use a steel drum on that song.
Hmm.
You cannot do
Hmm.
without the steel drum on the Caribbean, Jamaican, island medley kind of song. So if you
Yeah.
listen to type
Exactly.
of song, the type of song will give you an idea of there are some staple sound that this song need. You can be doing a
Hmm.
neo soul song and you don't have like a Rhodes inside of it,
Roads. Exactly.
right? You need a
Exactly.
Fender Rhodes somewhere in your R&B song. It's staple, right?
Hmm.
You are
Hmm.
doing let's say, let me give an example, a reggae song, study Bob Marley song. Most of the time before you
Hmm.
hear piano you will hear organ, right? So
Yeah.
like, okay, so
Yeah.
that means most reggae songs, a good thing for me to do is maybe try an organ here, let's see if it works. The type of song is already
Yeah.
informing you the kind of sound you should get into. Let me, you two kind of like add into other kind of genres and the kind of sound that works
Exactly.
with genre. Yeah.
So, truth, truth is, these questions. It's a very simple thing. The I this we're doing. I promise you, Mr. Joshua, it's enough.
Hmm.
Let's normalize people studying wild and wide. Answering questions like this are the reasons why we have we are looking. It's almost like we are running around circles when it comes to sound. You
Hmm.
know what I mean by sound? Like
Mm-hmm.
sound in the Nigerian industry.
We
This
are
is one of the
we are
reasons we are
repeating
running
the
around.
same thing.
We are repeating the same thing that had
Yeah.
been. Nothing is innovative because people are asking questions of another person's study
Hmm.
and taking it up from there and doing nothing innovative about it. So the more we keep answering, okay, this thing, this is what I use, this is what I use, this is what I use. When
Yeah.
we are done, they will take it up from there.
Hmm.
Nothing innovative. They would send the same thing to the next. So we have a generation that is lying on our own study that we most likely did not even put in as much effort as we
Hmm.
could have.
Hmm. Hmm.
Understand? So let's
Yeah.
normalize people studying wild and
Exactly.
wide. For
Exactly.
people that are asking for patches, you have your keyboard. Nothing stops you from coming early for your rehearsal. Sit down without an agenda and go through all the patches.
I just
No
take them out.
agenda. Go
Yeah.
through all. Just check. It's you are an aux player, you know what sounds good, you know what works, you know what doesn't work. Go
Hmm.
through them, build some, be it's not wrong to be different. It's not wrong to start something.
Hmm.
It's not wrong to start something. I promise you, I am not the first person that started using flute in Nigeria. I
Absolutely. I
I
mean,
picked it
flute
somewhere.
flute
I'm not.
was flute as back in the day, like those 2000 albums that you were talking about. Like if you go and
It
listen to
had
many
been.
of them, it had been done. Then after a while, it died down, and Manny is trying to bring it back again.
It had been, and there are people that try. If I've picked flute from Hillary.
Yeah. Okay.
I picked flute from Godwin Hillary. I will say that anywhere. Godwin
Hmm.
Hillary, and then my mentor. My mentor was the one that my mentor. His name is Derek Mark. He's a piano player in Port Harcourt here.
Okay.
He was one. I saw it in his patches and I picked it in 2017, 2018, and I've been using it since then.
Yeah.
The only thing difference is the choice of flutes I use. Like
Hmm.
going through softwares, and then I have particular, not all flutes I use.
Yeah.
I have particular choice. The flutes I use, they have a very strong attack in the beginning. So once you press the flute, you don't hear anything for milliseconds. It's later you hear the notes. So
Hmm.
it's like you hear something. So it's like a sharp attack and then the melody. So that's what
Hmm.
gives.
That
That's
bite.
why the flutes I use give my music exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Nobody told. They told I heard of flute. It did not end there. I had
Hmm.
to still look for the kind of flute. So let's normalize telling people, go. You have the template. Go and look for what works for you as a person.
Yeah. Find your
It's
own
not wrong
sound.
if we are
You know.
peculiar.
Yeah.
If
Find
we,
your
it's
own
not wrong if
sound.
we're peculiar. Because we're giving out one day, we'll look for something new. These people are the people we should look out for when looking for something new.
Hmm.
These people are asking. So it's their job to go and study wide, while we're also studying. You understand? So
Yeah.
whoever asks
Yeah.
the question, you have a board in your church.
Hmm.
You're an aux player. Go to church, open your keyboard, no agenda, drum percussion, go through everything. You will see what works for you.
Yes.
Go
Yes.
through everything.
Yes.
Ensure that at least every week your music team, they are perceiving something different about your play,
Hmm.
about your sounds, about your patches.
Hmm.
That's the only way. If you ask for salary increment, they will answer you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know.
That's the only way they will answer you.
Uh,
Ensure that something is evolving, and it's not evolving by trend. It's evolving by you putting in the work. It's
mhm.
evolving by you wanting to evolve.
Hmm.
If we give you patches today, in the next 10 years, you will still sound like
The same thing.
us. You will
You
still sound
know.
like Mr.
Yeah.
Moses Joshua. You still sound like Steph. You still sound like Hughes Play. There's nothing. It's nothing. A generation should not come. A generation should leave a
Hmm.
template behind. They should
Hmm.
set a pace, not necessarily dropping their materials or their results.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not wrong for a generation to pass with the results while we use the template and create our own results. Do you
Mhm.
understand? So
Mhm. Mhm.
the reason for things like this is not to come and make you a better auxiliary player. Is so that you can make yourself a better auxiliary player. It's just
Hmm.
you take. This is how it is done.
And
This
then you
is this is the
understand it.
route you should follow.
Yeah.
It's just that we are Google GPS. GPS Google Map does not mean we'll buy you car too. This is the road. Follow
You
it.
know.
Find your way. Go
You
and
get to
be
where you're
creative.
going.
So
You know.
that's
Yeah.
exactly, just
Yeah.
do your thing. So basically,
All
that's
right.
it for that. This
So
as long as auxiliary is concerned, it is
yes,
a long conversation.
it
Like
is.
it
It
doesn't end.
is. It is. It is. And
It doesn't end.
it's okay to understand that it's a very broad topic because we've not even gotten into
Mm-hmm.
synthesis. We've not even gotten into like what kind of wavetables,
Exactly.
ADSR, or
Mm-hmm.
ADHSR. We've not even gone
Mm-hmm.
into like all of those little details, nuances, how to work with detuned to change your patches, polyphony. My God,
Exactly.
it keeps on going. But
Exactly.
as much as you can develop your own understanding, understand when it comes to aux
This is why
keys.
people get confused.
Yes.
This is why people get confused
Hmm.
because if we start talking about ADHSR,
Hmm.
ADSR, polyphony, wavelengths, and
Wavetables.
that, they will get because what where what part of their intellect, what part of what part of them is receiving the information, what part of them will find it useful.
Mm.
You understand? And
Mm.
we're not the ones to do that study for you're
Yeah.
not the one to do it for me. I'm not the one to do it for you. You're not the one to do it for them. They're not the ones to do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So there has to that understanding. We're telling you study.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are as advantaged as anything now. You can find it on Google.
Mm.
Can find it on Google. Maybe you should host one veteran producer that started very early so that you understand the struggles and how
Yes.
advantaged we are.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
ChatGPT can give you anything right now,
Yeah.
step by step. Google can give
Yeah.
you anything step by. It was never like that. People like
Yeah.
Kevin Bond had to struggle with
Bro.
like step
Bro.
struggle the hell out of knowledge.
Mm.
They had to struggle, but we are advantaged to these things and we can't still make the best out of it. No,
YouTube is
no,
there, you know.
no.
So
Everything is there.
yeah. Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
is there. So
AI is there.
once there is an
AI is
once
there
there is an
splitting
understanding, once
splitting stems for people
exactly.
now.
Do you understand? Most
Yeah.
churches now don't have to make stems, and like, I mean, it's everything you need is there. So that
Mm-hmm.
once we start talking about ADSR, at least we're not telling people that are asking you what is ADSR. We are telling you, okay, these are the tweaks you can do to this. This is what you can do on your attack with this release to achieve something like this, and they can run with it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that simple. I'm trying to see if there's
Let's see if I want to. There's one thing I wanted you to talk to us about, Pastor Nobuji.
okay, sir.
Talk to
Oh,
us about PNG, the man, the myth, the
okay. So
legend. How
it
did
is
you meet this man?
so
When did
the
you guys start working together? Tell us everything you know about him.
so
Funny
so
stories, everything. Go ahead.
so first thing I would say is we don't we don't we don't utilize our belief system as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
The belief system, like a man's belief system, what a man believes is so strong that is as strong as anything you believe. As long as you are strategically positioned, it will happen.
Mm.
Like the
Okay.
belief system is as strong as even that is the only thing Jesus required from us after he died.
Mm.
Just believe.
Mm-hmm.
The belief system is why I said that is this. I saw PNG in 2020, 2020, I mean 2021. That his first I pray for you, you pray for me. That was the first
Okay.
time I saw his video.
Oh,
The
okay.
moment I saw it, I said the only thing I said is I and this guy will work. I won't lobby for it. He won't lobby
Hmm.
for it. We will just meet. I don't know how.
Hmm.
And from 2020, I think that was 2020 to 2023. The only time I ever reached out to PNG was once, 2022. There was something I did. I sent it to him, but he did not respond because I think he
Hmm.
didn't see the message. So
Mm-hmm.
after that, I'm like, Manny, leave it. Don't lobby. You are not going to lobby. It will happen. You and this guy will meet because he obviously he's somebody that can permit kind of music you do for his brand.
Hmm.
Fast forward to October 2023 on my birthday. I just picked up my phone in the evening and I saw a couple of messages. Where have you been all my life? Who are you? So I mean, so he
Hmm.
tried to call, but I wasn't with my phone. So I called him, and from no, he doesn't follow me. I follow him, but he saw my birthday video. There was a video I posted on my birthday in 2023.
Hmm.
He saw it and he did not. According to him, he did not understand what he was hearing. He felt like he's he's hearing somebody something he has been looking for years.
Hmm.
So that was
Hmm.
how we connected. He
Okay.
called, we spoke, connected. Our ever first event was that celebration show.
Oh, okay. Okay. That 2023 one.
And yes, and let me put out a very funny thing people don't know.
Uh-huh.
Till date, the only time the band ever rehearsed was twice for the live recording. We've
Hmm.
never rehearsed before.
Hmm. Hmm.
We've never sat down as a team to rehearse before. The only time we rehearsed was for fantasy, and we rehearsed only twice.
Mm-hmm.
Every other thing that has happened happens on stage.
Hmm.
Every other thing yes, everything.
Yeah.
Celebration church, everything was on stage. Nothing was rehearsed, nothing was planned.
Hmm.
Every other event he has posted with us happened on stage. Nothing was prepared. Nothing was planned.
The what
We
was
only
this other
spoke
one? Yeah, there was one that you did recently at the was it the Logic Church conference? The Messi said no one. Remember that
Messi
one?
said no.
Yeah,
So that was a performance that
yeah.
Flourish Peters asked for. So
Oh,
we
okay.
stemmed it a day. We stemmed it a day before. So we all sat. That was me, JB Okuchineke. I made the stems. We sat in his room, listening to it. We didn't rehearse. We were just listening, and then
Hmm.
the next day we executed. That was
Wow.
just it.
Wow. So
That
everybody
was
just had
just
to
it.
go listen to it and learn the arrangement.
Just
Yeah.
listening to it.
Yeah.
That was just
Okay.
it. We never met to say, okay, you missed this one
That's
at
amazing.
all.
Give it
So
up to JB.
PNG,
Give it up to JB. JB on drums, right? I believe that's
I
it.
tell you,
JB, yeah. Who
yes,
played bass again?
JB is so base for Messi said no.
Yeah, yeah.
Okuchineke did not meet up the event, so it was post produced by it was overdubbed by Benjamin Hill.
Okay, okay,
Benjamin
okay.
Hill.
Yeah,
That's another guy you should check. Benjamin Hill is box player for PNG, but he also
yeah.
plays bass.
Okay, okay, okay.
He's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody that knows Benjamin Hill knows how amazing he is. But PNG,
Yes.
Pastor is like he's a genius.
Bro, that
He's a
man is in
genius,
a different world, bro.
and yes, he's a genius, and it's divine to see geniuses sub that can collaborate.
Hmm.
Collaborations comes with a lot of suppression.
Hmm.
It comes with a
Mm-hmm.
lot. When I mean a lot of suppression, quiet suppressions, like sometimes you have to suppress what you think you want
Hmm.
to what works for what the collaboration needs to pass to the audience. You understand?
Or what the
It
artist
takes
wants
like
to do. Yeah.
it has to be divine for there's a me, there's JB, there's Uwani Gideon,
Mm-hmm.
there's Okuchineke, there's Benjamin Hill, there is Pastor Nobuji. These are these are people that know this thing.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that know this, and then we get to come together to do music. We are all as good as
Be
we can
individually.
be as expressive individually as we want to, as long as the music is concerned. But one
Mm-hmm.
of the things you would enjoy listening to Pastor Obuji's music is the music itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because every one of us, we understand what we're trying to pass to the audience we're passing it to.
Mm-hmm.
So we do the music as we give the music not what we know, but what it requires.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's both PNG and PNG's craft is PNG's craft is very expressive. So the thing with expressive crafts like that is that you must not subdue, suppress, or
Mm-hmm.
compete with it.
Mm.
PNG is very expressive. That is his niche. He is very expressive with the riffs, the runs, and all of that. So
Yeah.
what that
Yeah.
requires is give the accompaniment it needs and let him express.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Give the company it needs and let him express. So this is just the whole definition of Noji's music. But I tell you, this year is going to be this year is going to be.
Even
He's
more
about to
crazy.
release one of the songs we recorded.
Okay.
He's about to release one of the songs we recorded. Even the live recording, the only rehearsals we did were for about the first 3 minutes of each song. Every other thing was spontaneous.
Mm. Mm.
Every other thing was spontaneous. The song we're about to release is close to 30 minutes.
Ooh.
It's about 30 minutes, close to 30 minutes song, I tell you.
Spontaneity.
And every minute is crazy.
Wow.
Every
Wow.
minute is crazy.
I can't wait.
This
I can't
is
wait for it.
this is because this man understands. He's a producer.
Yeah. I mean, like I heard
He's
he
a producer.
produces some of his own stuff. There's this Mary Did You Know one that he did
He
like
did
last
everything.
December. Oh
He
my
did everything.
god.
Like
Oh
everything.
my
He sequenced the
god.
drums, set bass, played keys, did aux. PNG is my I can PNG can sit with me for hours while we discuss. So if you listen to Mary, you know,
Bro.
sounds like what I would do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It
actually
sounds like
thought
what I would
you guys did it together, but eventually someone actually
do
commented under the
at
video,
all.
and that person
He
was
did
the one
it.
that said
He
he
did
did
it
it all
alone.
by himself. Because that guy said he's from
He
Logic
did it
Church. I
all
can't
by
remember the
himself.
name of the person. He said he did it all by himself. That What we were hearing was just him and tracks that he did by himself. I said, my God,
Exactly. There was
what?
nobody played live. Nobody played live.
What?
He did it all by himself. He did it all by himself. That's one thing that is giving him. PNG is very teachable.
Hmm.
PNG learns. He works. He learns like he doesn't know.
Wow.
He learns like he doesn't
At
know.
that level, yeah.
So as I'm talking to you, he's currently was going through stuff about strings arrangement,
Hmm.
keys. PNG is learning upon the disaster he is. He's learning. I'm telling you, as I said, this year it's going to be because these PNGs. If I start talking, they will hold me if I start talking
and
about his
and
career. But
and I feel like it's of course it's evident in the way he sings. His approach is this thing he's doing. You cannot do it if you don't understand the music. This is not just being a good singer
exactly,
at this point. This is
mhm,
understanding, not just like the way someone is asking for if you're relating it to musician now, the same way someone is asking for patches, or let's say you as a singer, you're asking for teach me this riff, teach me this run. No, if I teach you this riff and you are in a different situation, how would you still approach, or how would you still use it? He understands the music
exactly,
so well that he understands the way he uses modes. Sometimes it gets me crazy. Like, bro, the way we switch from one key to the other while still sustaining on one note, and it feels so amazing. It's like PNG is just, it's just
exactly.
ridiculous, bro.
He,
It's
he,
ridiculous.
he's mysterious.
Yeah.
He's mysterious, and I tell you, there's just a lot that's going to happen this year.
Looking forward to
There's
it.
just a
I
lot that's going to
cannot
happen.
wait. I cannot wait for more materials, bro. I cannot wait. I still listen to the Messi said no once every once in a while, because what you guys did on
Oh,
that one was just a nice. I mean, I saw Pastor
exactly.
Crefodola on stage in front. I feel like he was
Mhm,
amazed. I feel like the way he was looking at what
exactly.
was going on stage was
No,
like,
he was. As long as Jesus was not in conference is concerned, he
yeah,
was
yeah,
blown away by the craftsmanship, the skill, the
yeah,
excellence of Pastor
yeah.
Nobuji. I tell you,
Nah,
Pastor
nah,
Nobuji
give it up.
he's always outdoing himself,
Now I feel like
and
one
for
of
someone
these
that
days, if I can, honestly, if I can, one of these days is someone I would like to talk to, like especially to talk to the singers, not even musicians at this point, like
we can
singers.
make it work. We can make it
This,
work.
because I feel like one of the
We
things
can
we are
sit down.
lacking from singing perspective is people don't understand, they don't know music theory, and they want to sing at a very high level. And I feel like there's no way you can sing at a very high level when you don't know music. There's a reason why Nathaniel
Mhm,
Bassi is Nathaniel Bassi. There's a reason why Dunsin is Dunsin.
mhm,
These people knows the music. They know the
mhm.
music much more than they can vocally sing it. I would say
Exactly.
that's at least what I
Yes,
see.
yes.
Just that Pastor Nobuji is one of those people that he knows the music and he can also still sing it the way he wants to.
Exactly. That's an edge. That's a very,
Bro,
very, very,
it's
very
it's amazing. It's amazing.
it's like a necessity. The reason it's called so another thing, it's called a gift.
Mm,
There's a particular reason it's called a gift to minister and to administer.
mm,
So apart from ministering to people with the gifts, there's also the place where we administer. This is why we have these things. After ministering to people and they are blessed, how the ones that should take off from us, how do they go about it? This is where we administer knowledge, our experiences and all of that. So it's a thing that should work. We should think as big as even if it's done said, they will come and tell us how it's done. I tell you, my brother,
mm.
we this is a movement that should stay. This is a movement that should keep on going. This is a movement
Absolutely.
we should.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
tell you, I tell you. As long as this auxiliary is concerned, I would have to come back here probably
Yeah,
some other
yeah,
time.
yeah. Oh, I really, really appreciate you. I really, really, really appreciate this. Thank you so much for making the time. This has been fun. It's been practical. We've tried to be as practical as possible as well. Like, share examples and share my screen, being able to demonstrate one or two things. But yeah, hopefully you guys have been able to take away one or two things from this. Thank you for tuning in. We still have about 73 people online watching right now. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Manny, for making the time, to join. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you again in the next one. If you have not, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed. And if you've not listened to my new song, please, go ahead, listen to my new song, go stream it on all music platform. It's out there, Momore. And then I have another song with my brother, Daniel the Psalmist. Go check it out on all platforms as well. It's out there, Omema. It's a simple song that you can just play and enjoy and just chill to. Think of it like a chill lo-fi music, honestly. And it's just stay there and think about it like a simple lo-fi music and just like enjoy it. It's simple. But yeah, 2 weeks from now, we are going to be having an immigration consultant be on this channel. This is going to be about someone we can talk to about if I want to take my music abroad. I want to travel and live abroad. Canada is actually in Canada. It's an immigration consultant for Canada, and he's going to be sharing his experience with us. If you're a musician, what are the things you're supposed to know? What are the things you're supposed to do to push your career to the next level for you to be able to immigrate to Canada legally as a PR, as a permanent resident, and things like that. So go ahead and get ready for 2 Saturdays from now, 22nd of February. We're going to be having that discussion about immigration as a musician, the things you need to know, the things you need to do. So get ready. It's going to be fun. We're going to be having more sessions coming. I'm going to try to reach out to those people you guys want to hear from. Use Play, Jaden Baker, all those people. We're going to talk about them. All right. And hopefully they will be here on this platform very soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Appreciate it. Bye.